Oh wait, hold on. Right, there we go. All sorted. No, I just had to change something around last time when we were in a different location, so I just spotted I hadn't changed it back. Right, welcome back to Kavran D&D. You guys are in the thick of it. And recap briefly what you did last time. Well, to recap in a broader sense, you guys are on the trail of a white dragon looking for a rare heirloom of Clary's ancestry that she had been informed had fallen into part of the dragon's hoard. So, on the trail of this dragon last time, you guys followed the coast, discovering a strange boat, seemingly belonging to giants, based on the deceased ones frozen in ice around the ship. You followed a trail of blood and discovered two giants in a cave being attacked by an Irenaeus and a pack of imps. Stix banished the Irenaeus, and the party convinced the imps they were their new masters, sending 3 of them to help Regis. We'll see how that turns out later on. The party helped the giants, one of whom was injured, suffering from a heavily infected wound, and Stix agreed to help the giants, Skjolman and Taruk, return home across the icy North Sea in exchange for their help fighting Valakatar. They found a new cave for Taruk to recover in, hiding the entrance before the party, Skjolman the giant, and the 3 imps made their way to the icy plateau and the fortress at the heart of Valaktar the frigid tormentor's lair. Finding shelter in a hollowed-out tree of a mighty fallen oak, the party settled down to rest and recuperate before taking on the lair. And this is where we pick things up. The light has faded, you guys are all huddled around whatever camp or campsite you have managed to make for yourself, Klari using the scroll of fabricate you acquired to turn this hollowed-out tree into a very pleasant living environment. Skjolman the giant is outside, sheltering under the roots where this trunk has fallen over and the roots have been ripped out, creating a small overhang that he can shelter under somewhat too large to fit inside the trunk with the rest of you. Is there anything anyone would like to do this evening or over the course of your long rest?
I think so. Let me have a look.
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh,
Oh,
can you put a spell back into my ring? Because I think I used the polymorph that was in there.
oh yeah. What do you want in it?
I don't know. Polymorph was pretty good, but I don't know if you have any other options.
I have many spells.
What do we think would be good?
Right. How many?
I mean, I've got a
These are
couple of.
ice dudes.
These are ice dudes, so I'm assuming fire would be a pretty good idea.
Would you like a fire spell, or have you got fire stuff?
I'll tell you what, I don't have any fire things, but I am gonna switch and get some fire things over the long rest. I'm gonna get rid of. Oh, I'm gonna get rid of. I don't want to get rid of anything. I like my spells as they are. I'm gonna get rid of. No. Maybe Aura of Vitality? I don't really use it very much, and it's not very good in combat. It's very good outside of combat, but it kind of takes up your entire turn in combat. And I feel like I should be whacking things. Or Death Ward. No, not Death Ward. Maybe Holy Weapon. Got Holy Weapon. Oh, I'll tell you what I can get rid of. I can get rid of Aid. Yeah, Aid is kind of useful. Oh, I'm at a loss here.
Misty Step.
Because I want
You
Searing
cannot get rid of Misty
Fire.
Step.
I
Boy.
actually can't get rid of Misty Step. I always have it prepared. So, Lesser Restoration I feel like would just be good. Because I feel like we're getting to that level where things are trying to kick our ass in a million different ways. I'll work it out, but I'll probably get Searing Smite. I don't know if you want to.
Are
Well,
you sure you've got the right amount of prepared spells?
I don't know. That's the thing, and I'm gonna have to actually look up how many spells I get. D Paladin. There we go. It's the first thing that comes up when I put in the letter D, other than Disney.
Well, the new rules say you get 14 at your current level.
What about the
Equal your charisma modifier plus half your paladin level rounded down. So my charisma modifier is 5 plus half
level are they?
thing would
17.
be. That would be 4. That'd be 13. 13. And I have, I'm assuming, more than that. The confusing thing is I get spells from a lot of different places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 5. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. You know what, I'm going to get rid of Spirit Shroud because I've got Holy Weapon, and surely that's just a lot better than Spirit Shroud. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to get rid of Spirit Shroud from my sheet because it just is going to take an absolute age to type in again. So I'm just going to put a little bracket thing.
Yes. Well, you have 13 from Paladin levels and Charisma modifier, and then you have 8 different ones from your Oath as well.
Yeah.
So, plus you've got at least one from a feat.
Yeah, I've got one from a feat, and I've got fucking loads from my staff, and I've got one from my Dimension Door cloak, and I feel like I'm the paladin with the most spells ever. I am effectively a spellcaster.
A Spelladin.
A Spaladin. I like that. I like a Spaladin.
There is a popular Paladin build which involves taking levels in sorcery.
Yeah, but that's not a paladin build then. That's a paladin sorcerer build.
A Spelladin.
That's a Sorkadin.
Yeah.
We don't like Sorkadins because Sorkadins use D6s for their hit dice, and it means you're weak. Weak as fuck.
Ha.
Said the man who needed a belt.
Yeah. I didn't. I wanted a belt. I didn't need a belt, and that came from bad rolls for my hit die.
And he only wanted it for the beard.
Yeah, the beard did also play a little bit of a part in the acquiring of such a belt.
It's just such a shame you never get to see it.
I looked in the future. It looks like you've tried to drop content from the 2024 version of Dungeons and Dragons. Unfortunately, this sheet does not support that content. Fuck off! Oh, it's they don't have the. They don't have the original Searing Smite. They only have the
new one.
New one. What's the difference? Searing Smite. Bonus action, which you take immediately. Oh, which you take immediately after hitting a target with a melee weapon or an unarmed strike. Or an unarmed strike. That's interesting. You hit the target. Target takes 1d6 fire damage from the attack at the start of each movement until the spell as a target takes 1d6 fire damage from every institution. Oh, a con saving for this time. That's interesting. On a failed save, the spell continues. On a successful save, the spell ends higher levels. 1d6 for each level above 1. That's stupid. Well, I'm sad now, but you know what? I know what Series Mine does. And oh yeah, it just means I can't quickly drop it into the compendium. Anyway, that's pretty much all I'm doing. Is switching some of my spells around. I'm gonna ask Arwen to put in.
What's currently in there?
Well, a polymorph was in there, but
Okay. So you got 5 levels of spells to play with.
Yeah. I don't know. What do we as a group feel like would be good to just have another of? I feel like either something like polymorph, because that's always useful, or like just like a high level spell that we can't do multiple of per day. Could also be pretty useful. Like, do you have any? What are your like highest level spells that you'd like to use?
Up to 5th level. What does flame strike do?
It's a big column of
Oh,
radiance and fire damage that slams down. It's
But
like,
really, it doesn't do any more damage than a fireball.
Yeah. I mean, there's a mass cure wounds I could put in there if you wanted a Healy big one, just in case.
Oh, that could be good, couldn't it? That yeah, because that's 5th level. That could be really quite good. As just a quick little bop.
Just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we do that? Yeah.
okay.
Mass cure wounds in the.
If there's no other business, then can someone roll me a d20, please?
Oh god, I'm trying to type this with
I
my
will
hand.
do a d20.
Thank you.
Oh god, is that bad? I feel like that's bad.
No, it's like golf.
Ah, okay.
That is good.
Par.
Well, it depends on what course we're on, but.
Oh. 1 over. Damn.
So, you all settle down to sleep. The imps, it turns out, are unusual sleepers. It seems to be personal preference, but 2 of them flip upside down, like gripping to the ceiling, and dig their little claws, like splintering the wood, before sort of relaxing their hands and falling back down and just wrapping their wings around them, like little bright red bats with little red scorpion tails. One of them seems to think sod that, and like kind of like scratches out a bit of because obviously the trunk is circular, and so there's not much of a floor, so they like scratch out a little bit of it, carving out a small sort of side of the inside of the tree trunk to form like a little, I don't know, like nook or something like that, before they sort of like curl themselves, like kind of like walk around on it and like sort of all fours for like a couple of little sug before like just like plopping themselves down and like folding a wing over their face to shield themselves from maybe the little campfire or something that you guys have conjured to keep you warm. But you guys settle down. Do you want to tell me a little bit about what this space looks like from your perspective, Klari, in terms of what you've conjured out of this, sort of hollowed out oak? You've used this spell, you've hollowed it out more effectively and smoothed out all the lines and things like that. But what else do you envision your spell having done to it? Would you have put in things like little windows, a chimney, a door?
Oh yeah, I think you were in the bathroom. Yeah, we used the fabricate spell. Oh yes.
I was, but I remember when I came back.
Yeah.
But I think it would look like a little cottage put in a tree.
Yeah. So the outside just looks like a tree, but the inside looks like a boat.
It's like little windows and big fire. I don't want to set the tree on.
Yeah, we don't want to set the tree on fire.
Yeah.
We also don't want a lot of smoke billowing out and signaling going out.
It would look like a little cottage put in a tree.
Yeah, so like a nice little cottage on the inside. With like a door, would you like seal off the entrance, sort of where the roots are, where you guys have kind of entered in through, or will you put like a little door on sort of the side of the trunk or anything like that?
I feel like we should have a door. Press on a door. Just in case we have to make a quick.
Well, I feel like we need a door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we need a door.
Okay. So, would someone kindly roll me a d8?
D8.
You did great.
Did I?
Got it.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
no.
it's not long after you've all bedded down, settled in, and drifted off to sleep that you are awoken by an almighty roar. And you're all jerked suddenly awake as the sound of this shout, this scream, and sort of underneath it, this somewhat insectoid little sort of chittering or like little like high pitched squeaking in between the deep sort of guttural shouts.
Outside?
Coming from outside, yes.
I reckon leave it, because otherwise, I mean, if it's making a lot of noise, we might want to take care of it so that things don't get alerted to our locale, but at the same time, killing it might make a lot of noise.
Can I peek outside?
One sec.
This is a lot of dice.
Sorry.
So painless. Okay. You peek outside?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you stick your head out the door. Make a perception check for me, just in the darkness, to see what you can make out.
Bloody hell.
11.
That's awful.
You can see, like, it seems like in the time you've been resting, sort of quite a heavy snowfall has started to drift down, obscuring your vision somewhat as you like stick your head out the door. You kind of get a couple of flakes in your eyes, which makes it, them sort of water and sting with the cold. And through blinking through sort of tears and things like that, you can see there seem to be two huge shapes wrestling with each other.
Like giant size?
Yes, as in huge, as in the size category of huge.
Oh.
So they're just outside in the dark
Yes.
somewhere. Okay. Can we listen in on their wrestling? Are they saying anything? Can we?
No, it just seems to be there seems to be two sources of noise that you pick up on. One is this sort of like high pitched, like high frequency sort of chittering noise, and one of them is this more humanoid sort of screaming and shouting and sort of like grunts of pain.
Well, we're nowhere near where we dropped our buddy off in the cave, and our giant friend is just outside. So
Does it sound like our giant friend?
It certainly sounds like a giant.
Oh. Can I have a look and see if our giant friend is still sat there?
He is not.
Oh god. He's fighting.
yeah, but he's fighting a big boar. I feel like he
Boar?
should. Yeah, he's had a
He's
boar.
making a chittering noise like a bug.
I thought Ginger said a boar a minute ago.
I did not say a boar.
You didn't
I
say
said,
a
have you
boar.
stuck her head out the door?
Oh, I thought you said a boar. I've been thinking the entire time. It's just a boar. Should we kill it?
Just a big pig.
Yeah, it's just a really, really big pig.
No, it's some big bug or something.
A big bug. Oh God, we're gonna have to go fucking help him, aren't we? Jesus Christ. You know what? Should we stealth over there?
Yeah, that's a good plan.
See what's going on? Because I feel like if he's winning, I don't want to get involved. let the giant man do the giant thing, you know? Let people be people.
Okay, so you know what? There's a big fight going on. There's heavy snow. You guys all have great stealth. I'm not even going to make you roll that.
Instant pass. I love it.
So yeah, you all make it outside. And yeah, what you can see as you creep closer through the snow, and like you have to sort of duck a couple of times as like with these big swipes of like this creature's long tail, kick up big, sort of plumes of snow, creating little banks that you guys can sort of duck and hide behind, and there's like little trenches and stuff where like footsteps have been dragged through. And what you see is this long centipede-like creature. And from sort of its head and back comes out this large sort of cobra-like frill. It's got these long sort of antennae that come off its head. It looks like that, for your reference.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ew, he's so ugly, but he's kind of fun.
It looks like that, for your reference.
Hey,
Yeah, is
He's got big beady eyes.
it is.
that's a big beady eyes.
And you can see it's got Skjolman sort of like wrapped around a little bit with its tail, like his like arm and leg is sort of like wrapped up on one side, and it's got these big fangs, and it goes in for another lunge on him.
Does he look like he's winning?
Make a medicine check for me.
Medicine.
Okay.
Oh, I should watch that today. Oh,
Just
just
my numbers mixed up.
there we go.
Who's who?
Medicine.
Why are you rolling so shit?
Oh, that's 3 ones. I know one of them was on a D8, but still.
Okay.
And doesn't seem to be doing fine.
From what you can see, there is a large amount of blood covering both creatures. With the if any of you want to make a nature check to see if you can figure out what this creature is, you can do that for free. Meanwhile, it's just going to take his next attack.
There we go.
It's a better roll.
Okay. So what's his modifier? 9. Should I see? Yeah, that was going to. So this is a creature called a Remohaze. Like cold environments. Where's my D12? There's my D12. But yeah, there is this this is an icy creature that a creature that likes cold environments. But you also know that it has some sort of like internal heat, and you can see as Skillman goes to strike this creature, there is almost like a sizzling and like a steaming as its blood like bursts out.
Oh.
And based on there is just a it's kind of dark. It's kind of there's no light source. It's hard to distinguish what sort of like the blood of this creature and what sort of the blood of Skillman. But he, it's just hard to see. There's just a lot of blood everywhere. Both these creatures are very large and very strong, and the wounds they inflict are very deep.
Well, how loud is this now that we've got up and seen this fight?
I mean, this is loud. This is a full-on fight to the death.
Yeah.
Skillman is like screaming and crying out, and just like like wordlessly, just sort of like bellowing a war cry as he tries to swing this axe.
With the whatever his name,
The
thing.
The Remohaze.
That's the him. Would I be able to fire an arrow at one of like the open wounds?
Like a cold shot?
Oh, sorry?
A cold shot?
Yes, sure.
Yes, you can try and go for an open wound if you like.
Can I? Yes, please. I would like to do that.
Okay.
With a cold arrow if his blood is hot.
Okay.
I think that's what I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see if it kind of fires that the cold is hitting the hot bit. 31.
Yes, that will definitely hit.
Okay, good. Boop. Boop. And can I do a Colossus Slayer because it is injured, just not by us? I do big hits now.
Okay.
This is a big hit. That's over 20 damage in one.
Roll a d6 for me for the additional damage of the cold shot. Getting it, right into one of these like open axe wounds. The cold damage doesn't seem to have had an effect on it at all.
Oh, okay.
But you do get 24 damage against it. As the arrow, there, this like gap where Skillman has like sheared through its armored carapace and gives you this like soft, fleshy opening, so your arrow sinks that much deeper as this thing's like thrashing around. Let me just add the damage real quick. 106 plus 150. Okay. Anyone else doing anything?
Yeah. Well, I've seen Arwen shoot an arrow in. Can I try and sneak a little closer?
Yeah, go for it. You will need to make a stealth check this time because as this shot goes in, this creature, like where it's sort of like wrapping around, it like curls its head sort of back and looks directly in the direction of where the arrow came from, spotting all of you. So you'll need to make a stealth check now to hide as it's.
False dudes.
That is okay. 28.
Yeah, Stix. You basically like where some of this snow has been like kicked and like sort of like piled up in like a pile of fresh powder. You basically just dive into this thing and like cartoon style, just like worm your way through it. Like it loses sight of you and you pop up. As you pop up, you can see this thing is on the verge of like going in and trying to sink its fangs back into Skillman again.
Yeah. So, sift him away through the snow, and then I want to jump up. As I get close and try and sort of come up at it, and just try and sort of jab it with my spear.
Okay, roll an attack roll.
Chantal, your sheet's having issues.
She's always.
Your sheet is. Do I get advantage because of the sneaking?
Well,
Look at the way he points. Look at him.
yeah, go on.
You're a good man, JJ. That will be 4. Oh, that's 2 really bad rolls on d8s. 3 really bad rolls on d8s. 14 plus 4, 18 plus fucking eh,
Oh, bloody hell.
so that's kind of fun. Same roll twice. So it's 50, 60, 68
Jesus Christ.
damage.
So how was my 24 in comparison to this?
Wait.
Oh, I'm not done. I do apologise.
Wait.
I'm scared. Is
And
that a smite?
Yes, that was a crit smite. That's what all the d8s are. Yeah, he can't just do that normally.
Oh, well, yeah, no.
and I would like to implant a thingy in it. Kerplunk. So just sort of emerge from the snow, stab, and then move back and let Skjorman kind of do his thing. Assuming we've helped a bit.
Yes. The only thing that happened is, as you stab into it, you open up a wound in the side of this creature. There is like a blast of heat that exits from underneath its shell, and you take 10 fire damage
Oh, lovely.
as you strike this creature in melee.
10 fire damage. A little bit of fire damage.
Klari, anything from you?
Yeah, I mean, I stealthed up to. I did a Klari.
But you still.
Yeah, I stealthed up to it and stabbed it. I did a Klari, arguably better than Klari.
Okay, well now Clary's going to do the same thing and she's going to do it better than me.
That is a bold claim, saying you did better than Klari.
I mean, yeah. And also, yeah. Officially, Stix when he stabs up into it, he goes sneak attack.
Oh God! Yep. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, there's 2 ones. You take another 2 fire damage. As some of it goes in your mouth and burns your tongue.
All right, you know what? I will gladly take that 2 fire damage. Glad.
Yum yum yum.
Oh,
Everything. Everything.
now our whole internet. You
Was it too
broke
damage?
the. Yes.
I didn't do anything.
You broke the internet.
Calling the bells for like.
I try and kill the giant, and you guys just
okay.
Stix just won't have it.
Was it?
It's close though. You've only got about 20 hit points left.
I'm sneaking.
You're sneaking. I rolled a 28 on stealth, by the way. Just out of
Fuck you.
curiosity. You rolled a 27.
Oh yeah, right. But like that was just natural, so
Yeah.
Yeah, 27. I'm gonna assume it doesn't see me.
Yeah, it doesn't see a 27. It got a natural 20 on its perception check after Arwen shot it, for a total of 20.
Nice.
Yes, and a 24 does hit as well.
Oh, that's really disappointing.
That's 30 damage.
I
That's pretty good.
don't think it. Oh, it's still more than you did it. Did you wait? What have you done?
Because I crit.
Oh, you got it. But I rolled more than what you think.
Sneak attack!
Jesus Christ!
Rogue!
Why do I feel like during the week Ben's going to get some sneak attack?
I'm a rogue.
You're a menace, that's what you are.
Stix immediately pulls his cloak of command back over his head because I'm a rogue.
A weapon to just.
Dear.
You're a pillow right there.
I mean, that's
He's not
watching.
the least menacing thing on the sofa. Ah! Threw an oasis at me!
It's empty. To clarify, it's just a bottle.
Oh, that was very mean.
It was a sneak attack.
Huh?
You were distracted.
It wasn't a sneak attack. I fully knew you were. You literally were looking for things to throw at me.
No, I was looking because
The PvP turns too real.
you were distracted by the teddy, and then you got popped on the nose by an oasis.
And you got sneaked.
Not fine. I will admit, I got sneaked. Good job. Proud.
Well, the real life attack's out the way.
I feel left out.
Oh, I was going to say, like, did you want me to attack you? Okay.
Hold on, give me like 25, no, 30 to 45 minutes, and I'll go get a sneak attack. Oh no, I need to go for 25 to 30 minutes.
Klari, you take 10 fire damage as you stab into this thing. But as you do so, this thing, having taken this couple of heavy blows from the giant, been shot by Arwen and heavily smited by Stix, it has begun to
Carry on.
It has begun to uncoil. No, just question it because I think you're probably right, and just.
Yeah, but it sounds very wrong. I don't think smout is a word.
No, it's smote.
Oh, yeah, I said smelt.
Oh, okay. It's like smaug, smough, smoog.
Oh.
Anyway, it's begun to like uncoil its body from Skjolman and has almost begun to sort of like, rather than go in for a bite on him, has begun to sort of like dive towards the ground as if it's going to try and sort of burrow and get away. But you take this opportunity and you come in with a dagger and you like slice through this, like fringing around its neck all the way up to the base of its neck, and with the the last sparks of lightning that come off your elemental dagger, instead of this thing like diving into the ground, all of its legs just sort of like quiver and twitch, and it just hits the ground with like a solid thump. The snow around it immediately melting and soaking into the ground, and it sort of curls up into like a tight spiral.
Like a spider. You know, when a spider dies, they kind of go like that.
Yeah, but this thing being like long and centipede, like curls up into like a tight spiral as if all its muscles are contracting, pulling it in under the electricity as it dies.
Do you know why that is? Why spiders all curl up when they die?
Why?
Because their movement is based not on any muscles or anything, but their blood pressure. So when they move their legs, they physically change blood pressure in parts of their body to move parts of their body. And obviously when they die, your blood pressure just completely drops. So their body shrivels up.
Oh. That's interesting. I never knew that. That's cool.
It is cool.
Interesting.
Until you think that every single time it moves, it's individually controlling the blood pressure of 8 legs simultaneously in 8 different parts of its legs to be able to skitter across the ground.
It's a bit strange, but then we don't think about the muscle moving.
That's a good point. Yeah. Anyway.
Weird, though.
But
Very weird.
Well,
It died.
You have successfully defeated the Ramahaze, and as it like releases Skillman and flops to and falls to the floor, he kind of spins around with his axe in hand, not really realizing you guys were there. And then when he kind of takes you all in, he kind of just flops and just sits down in the snow.
What happened?
This thing, it just snuck up on me and attacked me in the night.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's not good. If we go back now, will we still get a long rest?
Yeah.
Stuff from a long rest. Okay. Well, I'll heal him up a little bit then. I haven't pressed the long rest button since yesterday, so I'll heal him up a little bit. Yeah, I just throw a smorgasbord of healing his way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see he's got like on one arm, and it seems to be like sort of like on his like a lot of the blood seems to have come from sort of like his shoulder and his neck, as if he was sort of sleeping, and this thing like bit down on him and then like drag, and then he like as he like jumped up, he like dragged it with it. So he's got this big bite mark like in his shoulder, where you focus most of the healing, and yeah, it seems to like heal up and slow down, and he like begins to sort of like scoop some snow up and sort of like rub it, and the snow comes away quite red, but like he kind of looks like he's giving himself just basically like a bit of a wash with snow.
Nice. Oh shit, my iPad's gonna die. Oh no.
Thank you.
Nice.
I used to seeing such creatures. It is. We have many creatures in my land, but this is rare. Especially one so large. It is unusual to see such wintry beasts. I don't know much about your lands. Is this common? Are there more of them?
I've never seen this dude before. Have I? No.
No, you've never been anywhere cold enough for long enough to see something like this.
I don't know these things. But yeah. I don't live up here, so.
Yeah, these things are weird. Never seen one before, but I mean, actually, can I roll like a nature check to see if there are like these things travel in packs or anything like that?
Yeah. What did you get in your previous nature check? It was like a 24 or something.
I was a 20.
A 20. Yeah. You'd know that these things aren't likely to be found here. They usually come from singularly icy climates, so it's strange to find something like that here. But then this particular area has become so icy and tundra-like for you're not sure how long that maybe it has attracted a creature like this to it from wherever it came from.
Right.
But they don't tend to be pack animals and things like that. You don't think you're going to find you don't think you've stumbled into a nest of these things and there will be more. You suspect this is probably a lone one. Although strange creatures like this that are not native to this area of Kavran have turned up, who knows what else might be lingering in the dark.
Oh.
Okay. Well, a very steady walk back to camp then, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this thing would have, happened, not too far away from the tree itself.
Yeah. Just need to grab the iPad charger. Okay, a second.
It's like, you've healed me, you've done me a service, but is there anything you can do? Maybe we should set a watch or something. Have you got any sort of perimeter with your magics you can set up that we can?
Oh, we do a watch. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fun.
I would hate to be attacked again. That thing, nearly got the better of me.
Let's do a watch.
Okay.
I'll go first.
You go first?
Yeah.
All right. Perception check for me.
Perception?
Perception.
I promise these glasses help.
25. Okay.
That's a good one.
It is very good. So
Nice.
everyone kind of settles down. As you get back to the tree, you can see that the three imps.
I think 2 imps. Because one of them's with the other dude.
You are right. Yes, you left one of the imps with Taruk to look after him. So the 2 imps that are still there have kind of come down from the ceiling and are just like almost with their like wings pulled around them, like little dressing gowns, are like sticking their head like just through like a tiny gap in the door, like Bassies, what go on?
Oh my god, I love them.
We need sleep too.
Yes, you go sleep. Go sleep.
Okay.
Night.
Giant make more noise or
Oh, he's dead now.
you okay?
Yay!
Okay. And they just both like just flutter up to the ceiling and just
Oh, they're so cute. I love them.
Well, I will call one of them Pain and one of them Panic. Yes. That shall be their name.
I
Rather
love
than,
them.
rather than Imp 1 and Imp 2.
where are you gonna set up for your watch, Arwen?
I'll sit on the top of the tree.
Okay, you climb on top of this like big sort of like 6 foot high trunk, scramble your way up, like kicking some of the snow around, out of your way. Hugo like comes out and like scrabbles his way up, like scratching through the bark and stuff. Like sort of like snuffling it off and just like sort of curls around. And he goes to sleep with like his head like in your lap, but he like curls around you to keep you warm.
My boy.
But yeah, with a 25, quite difficult to see anything with this sort of heavy snowfall that's coming down. You have to keep shaking it out of your eyes and stuff like that. Brushing it off where Hugo's head is like in your lap. It kind of like builds up with a little pile of snow on his head.
Can I make a mini snowman on his head?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Almost like it's kind of like you're like plaiting someone's hair. You're just sort of like idly just like packing little snowballs while you study the surroundings around you. But yeah, everything feels normal for the forest. The only thing that happens is at one point you think you hear passing overhead this almost like this just sound of like sort of leathery wings cutting through the air, and it just high overhead it just passes by, maybe an hour and a half sort of into your watch, heading in the direction of the coast.
But then that's it.
But that's it. That's the only thing you pick up on.
Well, I'll let whoever goes second know.
Okay.
About that. Just to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
Just in case. Okay. Is anyone taking a second watch after Arwen?
Yes. Yeah. I'll take the next watch after on.
Okay. Perception check from you then, Stix.
This is my speciality. Brilliant. Perception. That's a 3.
Yeah, it's a 3. So what is it to you that means that Stix during this watch isn't picking up on particular details? You know, that isn't as attentive as he sometimes is to his surroundings.
I think
Snow angels.
Yeah, I think Stix is just So here's what happens: he goes outside to make some like snow angels and stuff, and obviously it's a long rest. He's taken some of his plate armor off, so he's just in his regular sort of clothes, and he was just sort of sat on top, thinking, oh yeah, I'll be fine. I've got my cloak. I've got another cloak. I'll be perfectly fine out here. I'll just make some snow angels, and it'll be lovely. But then, obviously, because it's snow, all of his stuff has gotten really wet. So now he's wet and miserable and cold. But he doesn't want to go back inside and admit that he's cold. So he just spends the entire time thinking, "This is fine. This is fine." So rather than looking out everywhere, like when you're cold, you can just dead stare forward, or you can focus on your goal.
There is a singular spot on the ground.
There's a little leaf, and he's watching it just get covered in snow.
Yeah, so if anyone was to come in the direct forward bit, yeah, sure, Stix might see them, but literally any other, out of a 360-degree thing, Stix is maybe watching 30 degrees of just, this is fine, this is fine. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, nice. Okay. But you've watched him pass with that incident. You don't spot any signs of any other insectoid creatures or anything like that. Eventually, the cold gets the better of you. You decide it is time, and you make your way back inside to warm up.
Yeah. Go back inside. Cast steering smite on my spear, and I have that in my little bedroll, and I snuggle up to it, and it's like a little in my spear. Boom.
Okay.
Now you just have a spear brand on your chest.
Yeah, I just have sort of like a line, like a dark line, like a burn there, and just down my chest and on one of my legs, and on my arm, as it's just pretty much burned into the side of me. But it's fine because I was warm.
All right. Klari, your watch. If you would like to take one, you don't have to, obviously.
Yeah. I won't leave it to you guys. I'm happy to take a watch.
Okay. Perception check for your time.
Nice.
21.
Nice. Actually, that's a 24.
24. Okay. Would you take us up a similar position as Stix and Arwen sitting on top of the the log house that you have created, or would you take up a position elsewhere?
I think I would do a similar thing, yeah.
Okay. So you're set up on top of him. Maybe there's like a little spot where they've both been sat where the snow sort of hasn't landed, so you can sit sort of in the dry. It's maybe a bit cold where like sort of the moisture from the snow has soaked in and made it a bit chilly. But yeah, you get yourself sort of situated and comfortable. not much happens for a long time, and you're approaching the early hours, and now the deep blues of the night have transitioned into the dull greys of very early morning, and you just spot creeping through the trees a set of pale green eyes first come through the gloom, and then slowly as they come into view, you see the snout and white coat of a very large wolf. And it begins to sort of walk in the direction of all of you, sniffing around. It pauses briefly as it comes sort of on the edge of the clearing, sniffing the air before it kind of walks into the clearing and begins to sniff around amongst the snow, sort of moving from patch to patch, sort of giving it a bit of a lick and things like that. It seems to sort of, snuffle around for 5-10 minutes, seemingly searching over this sort of site, clearly having scented the blood upon it, looking for maybe scraps of food or something like that. But after 10 minutes or so, having not found anything, you think you see it spot Skillman, but with your perception and your insight, you can see the calculation going on in the wolf's mind as to how big the sleeping giant really is. And you can see there's a animal intelligence behind its eyes, where it kind of clocks the size of the giant, the fact that the giant is still alive and far too big for it to take on, and it kind of slopes off into the forest again. But the rest of them, the light comes as the morning arrives. The rest of you all awake as well, rested enough but cold in this environment. Even with any sort of fire or anything like that, as you need to keep moving. Your fingers and your toes soon get cold in this environment, and it's certainly you, Stix, even with your searing smite spear to cuddle. The cold has started to sink into your bones. This environment is not a place you guys want to remain for too much longer. But the morning dawns. Gilman wakes up. He thanks you all again for keeping watch and looking out for them. The two imps are sort of, one is like quite active in the morning, and the other one, it seems like, is not. And you can see one of them is like hanging off the tiny little horns of the other one, trying to pull it out of the ceiling, and it's like clearly gripping on for all its might with its little claws, trying to just get any more seconds of rest.
Well, that one's definitely
Love
pain.
it.
And then the other one who was up early is clearly panic.
Okay. But unless there's anything anyone would like to do specifically in the morning, you can all begin the day. Get the benefits of long rest and begin your day.
Oh, long rest. Long rest.
Where are you heading this morning?
Towards the bad man camp, right?
Yeah, I guess this is it. We're on we're gonna kill some shit.
Okay.
We're gonna kick some ass today.
Alright. So you head out, beginning your journey, trudging through the snow. The heavy snowfall last night has abated somewhat, and in the deep cold in the morning seems to have sort of frozen into a crust on top as you push your way through each step with the familiar crunching of snow as you break through the crust and push through sort of 4 to 6 inches of snow in places, wending your way through trees that stand frozen and leafless. Soon the effort of walking this heavy path Skillman. He seems unaffected by a couple of inches of snow, forging ahead, maybe the rest of you following in his wake. And after a couple of hours of travel, something catches your eye in the still morning. You spot high above you, and a few miles off, this bird just swoops through the air, which is strange. This wintry landscape is somewhat devoid of the natural hustle and bustle. Certainly Stix and Arwen, being attuned with nature as you are, would just have a sense of the life of the forest around you. Even if you didn't see animals directly or hear them directly, you would pick up on signs and smells, things that would indicate the presence of animals. And most of this is very devoid of animal life, kind of like you've entered the lair of something large and that the animals know to avoid.
Oh, didn't one of the... No. Did one of the bad dudes have a eagle? No, I think I'm making that shit up.
No, one of them had a polar bear.
Yeah, that's the big bad. That's the Father Christmas.
Yeah. And then the others had like antlers on there. Like it was like the. I think maybe they No, you might be right. Didn't they have giant eagles or some shit? They certainly had big enemies. Like a big. No, I'm thinking of Hugo and Thingy helping us. Never mind.
Shit, yeah, Namiri's here.
Yeah, Namiri is here. I thought she just slept through the whole thing.
Yeah, we'll just say that happened.
Yeah.
Snow earplugs and just.
Exactly. Snow plugs.
Snow plugs. But yeah. So as you are all trudging along, we'll say she took one of the watches with Hugo. Why not?
No.
You see this bird, this hawk or eagle, or whatever it is, high in the sky above you. It circles briefly for a moment before it goes into what is unmistakable to those of you who are well versed in the ways of animals, is some sort of hunting dive where it folds its wings against it and, like an arrow from a bow, shoots towards the ground, quickly disappearing into the tree line. And then a couple of minutes later, as you're watching the tree line, as you're trudging along, you should watch this thing rise into the air, something gripped in its talons, and it begins to head off again.
Can we see what's in its talons?
Make a perception check for me.
Can I help this? Try and aid.
If he's helping, do I advantage? Ooh,
yeah. This looks to be just a little sort of like rabbit or something like that. Maybe like a vole or a shrew.
Could be a vole or a consonant.
Or a salamander.
Salamander.
I can't win.
Or a tarantula.
Okay.
Sure, a giant ice spider in its talons.
Okay. That's fine.
As it disappears off over the horizon.
Oh god, no. Now giant ice spiders are officially a thing. I don't like that.
And yeah, you guys continue to trudge your way through. Can everyone make a Constitution saving throw for me after several hours of travel in this cold environment?
Can I say, before we do that, I'm going to cast Aid at 3rd level on everyone, which means everyone gets their HP boosted by 10 for the duration, which is 8 hours. So your HP goes up by 10. And like it can like be healed up to that as well. You know, like
Nice. You're okay, my dear.
Yeah, I'm just checking something out.
That's what Stix looks like. He's got his beard.
Before Arwen shaves it off in the wee hours of the morning.
I think when I draw Stix, I'm gonna have to give him loads of scars on his face. From Arwen.
From all the razors.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right. Yes. So what saving throw is a Constitution,
Con,
right?
please, from everyone.
Con save. You'll get +5 because my now 30 feet.
16.
30 feet. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Very.
Bother.
Not bad.
Oh, I need to check something actually about these dragons. What are their damage resistances?
None.
None.
Wait, who?
In the mirror.
Oh. Oh, all of them.
They all get +5.
Oh,
All get
am I supposed to? Sorry, am I supposed to?
Amethyst dragon. There we go. Young amethyst dragon. Damage resistances, force and psychic. Okay. Well, that's not going to help. Yeah, +5's not going to help on a natural one, unfortunately.
No. No, it's not.
8 plus 13.
Oh, actually, what's a modifier? Because that actually might help if I do this properly. Cool. Oh, yeah, no, even with a natural one, she's alright. Because Dragon is hardy. So unfortunately, it is just Klari. But maybe it's because you took sort of, one of the early watches, you never really sort of like got warmed up enough. Maybe because you're shorter than some of the others that you're trudging through. The snow is a bit sort of deeper on you. For whatever reason, the cold is affecting you particularly badly this morning, and you take 1 level of exhaustion from trekking through this cold landscape. Everyone else, I think, got over 10, so they are all right.
That's not good. That's disadvantage on ability checks. I did roll it. However, that doesn't matter for the ones you're proficient in. So
But you will continue your trek. As you're walking, again, sort of Skillman leading the way. What's the mood like in your little party that's going? How are people feeling? Is it jovial? Are you guys, think you're sort of chatting? Is there sort of a grim determination, a silence,
well,
fatigue and anxiousness?
we're going to kill a big dragon. So I imagine there's a bit of nervousness, but also, at this point, we've killed a few dragons in our day. So I'm feeling fairly confident. And also, there's a massive fuck off ice giant walking right behind us. So I feel like feel pretty good.
You know
Feel
when dogs are in the snow and they do that nice little bouncy thing where they're
Yeah.
like in the thick of it and then they just like kind of bounce
What?
out.
Yeah,
Hugo.
that's you. Okay.
Except when he bounces, there's like a couple of flutters of his wings. Then
Like he's really in the snow, which is probably why he's so cold. But he's like going for it and like moving around a lot, so which is why keeping him warm. So it's probably what just makes his save.
two questions. First
Yes.
question: should I make us gassy?
Oh right, okay, yes.
Make us windy, wind walk. So we can get there quicker and maybe actually be able to have a look around at the place we're going. And B, I suppose if we're going windy, I don't really need Elvis. I was going to say otherwise, should I bring Elvis? But I suppose if we're being windy, we don't really.
Can he be windy?
He could be windy, but I mean, his entire thing is he flies, so I don't feel like he's then adding much if he doesn't. If we're already flying, so I'm gonna if we're all agreed, I'll just make us all windy, which I believe I can get everyone in wind.
I got 3 of you, Hugo and Amiri, giant, 2 imps. There's 8 creatures. Jesus, there's a lot of you guys now. How has this happened? I got 3 players, and between you, there's 8. You've got a team of 8.
You and up to 10 willing creatures. You can see.
Yeah.
So there we go. Everybody becomes wind.
Everyone becomes wind.
Indeed.
Okay.
And we wind across.
All right. You all take to the air, and as you do so, rising above the tree line, you can see ahead of you this, much clearer now, this fortress sitting on the crest of a cliff's edge, overlooking the sea. See from this distance, you can see a few miles away is a cold, steely grey as you approach the middle of the day. And as you rise high into the air and begin to drift over the treetops in what is becoming a very familiar fashion to you all, particularly large, sort of windy elemental form, seems a little bit unsteady in the air, but you all begin to rise and swoop rapidly over the treetops. A sound reaches your windy ears, which is a mournful howl.
From the direction of where we're going?
Maybe a little ways, sort of, not directly in the path, but generally in that direction.
It's just Stix pretending to be wind.
I can imagine that actually happening. Like Arwen and Klari on our rings going, oh my god, what the hell is that noise? It's just Stix going.
And it's just me going up behind you as wind just going. The Stix whistle because he has no mouth to whistle, so it's just. It sounds cool. So it's a mournful wail, sort of.
Mournful howl.
Oh, a howl.
Mournful howl.
Like an animal?
Yes, with your natural nature sense, it does seem more animalistic, more bestial.
Hold on, if I do speak with animals,
It's just some creature going, "Fuck!"
how far away? Where is it?
It's first level spell.
I was like, oh, that's amazing.
You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration.
Oh, so it's any okay. So if I do a speak on, can I cast the spell while I'm in a gas form?
Nope. The only thing you can do as wind is turn into yourself.
Yes, you're completely correct.
So you could stop and turn into yourself and cast the spell.
Aren't we over like a frozen ocean?
No, you're still over land. You're heading towards this castle, this fort that is on a cliff's edge.
Oh, I thought it was in the middle of the sea for some reason.
No, it's not. Fortunately,
I do apologize. Okay. Well, we'll look out for any distressed-looking animals on our way.
Okay.
Indeed.
Pardon?
Indeed.
Okay. Do you want to make a perception check as you go?
Yeah.
Oh, 16. You don't spot as you're, maybe you head a bit lower and look towards the ground. You don't specifically spot any animals, but what you do spot is the same, what looks to be the same or certainly similar hawk or eagle. You're not quite sure. Just slowly circling over a patch of trees, maybe a couple of miles away to your sort of southeast.
When we get to that specific patch of trees, can I go down and see what's underneath where he said?
Yeah. Are you gonna transform back, or are you gonna remain as wind?
As wind, so he doesn't attack me.
Okay. Yeah. Arwen deviates off, and you swoop down amongst the branches. And it doesn't take you too long. Again, the sound of this howling much louder and much closer. And you find what looks to be a large snow-coloured wolf with one of its hind legs in a gruesome-looking steel trap.
Oh my god. Okay, well, everyone carry on. I'll catch up. On foot. I am no longer wind.
Okay, you begin the process of transforming into yourself. Just roll a d20 for me. On an 11 to above, you transform first. On a 10 or below, something happens before you finish transforming. That's a
Wait,
d10.
that's a d10. Sorry.
17. So you transform back into yourself.
Okay, cool.
Is anyone joining Arwen at this point?
Maybe not. Maybe I'll stay as wind. She did say you guys go along, but I don't want to leave anyone behind. So I'll just sort of stop, wait while she's doing
Stix is
this.
waiting. Klari, are you waiting? Are you remaining as wind?
I will wait as well.
You'll wait as wind? Okay.
Yeah, wait as well.
Hugo?
He's gonna wait as wind.
He's going to wait as wind. Okay.
Unless something happens, he'll wait as wind.
Okay. Remember, it takes a minute to transform. Okay. So you transform back, and yeah, on the ground before you is this wolf.
I can now cast Speak with Animals.
Yes, you certainly can.
I am speaking with the animals. I'm wasting spell slots, but anyway. It's only a first level, it doesn't matter. Yes, I speak with the animal.
What do you say?
I try and calm it. I'm guessing it's still wailing and crying.
Yeah, you're still a little bit a ways away at this point, maybe like 10, 15 feet.
Okay, well, I go towards it and I say, it's okay, I can help you out of the trap.
Yeah, it clocks you like immediately as you like step out from behind a tree and like stops howling, just like snaps its gaze upon you and just like being sort of like snarling and growling defensively.
I'm not gonna hurt you, I'm gonna help you.
It lets out like a little sort of like the rest of you hear is almost like a sort of short bark, and all you just hear is "Get back!"
Do you want me to help? Do you want to live or die?
There's a pause at this point. And the growling just sort of settles a little bit, but doesn't respond.
Okay. Well, I will. I know about hunt. I mean,
Yes.
I'm a dude. I know about hunting traps, so I can disarm it easily.
Potentially, yeah.
Do I need to make a sleight of hand check or something?
So first make either a persuasion or an animal handling check. As you sort of, you've paused and sort of said this, and the wolf was just sort of eyeing you carefully. And then as you begin to approach, it kind of, like sort of like its ears go back and kind of like just sort of looks at you and, kind of just without saying anything, it just kind of like lets out this whine that you don't need to speak with animals to know that it's in a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay, well, and then I'll open I'll crouch down,
Mm-hmm.
Give it a little stroke, and then open the trap.
Okay.
Can I just do that?
So you reach down and you place your hands upon the trap. It's very cold. It's just a solid metal trap. It's very cold. You begin to try and like lever it open. As you do so, where it's kind of impinging on this wound of the wolf, it again lets out like another whine, and you hear like a slight, like the equivalent of like a slight curse, basically, Arwen, as it kind of just swears under its breath. It's like as you like open this on the wound, and a little bit more blood starts to leak out. But what you also hear as the trap kind of like squeaks a little bit as you're starting to release it. Just make a strength check for me. 22. Yeah, it seems like it's stiff with frost, but you are gently and carefully beginning to open it, and you pause very slightly as you hear the sound of two sets of footsteps and sort of a laugh, like carries through the trees.
Can I tell the wolf to like bend its leg to try and like get it out the trap?
Yeah. Yes, you like carry on
kind of-
opening the
yeah.
yeah. You're still like opening this thing up. It's just you heard the sound of like a laugh and that carried through the trees. It just gave you like a brief pause, and as you paused and sort of like looked around, you could hear in the silence like the sound of like two sets of footprints or footsteps crunching through the snow together. But yeah, you carry on like opening up this trap, and eventually get it like open enough, and the wolf like pulls its leg out.
Perfect. And then I will. Okay, so I've got healing. Do I? Oh. What does the potion of vitality do?
The potion of vitality.
Believe neutralizes like conditions, basically.
Yeah, I believe Ben's right, and it like heals like poisoned and disease and stuff like that. If you drink the potion, it removes any exhaustion levels you had, ends the poison condition on you, and for the next 24 hours, you regain the maximum number of hit points for any hit dice you spend. This potion's crimson liquid regularly pulses with dull light, calling to mind a heartbeat.
Does the wolf have like is it just a normal wound that can be healed, or is it a like a?
It looks like. Make a quick medicine check for me.
Oh, very good at that.
Wisdom, your word. Wisdom's your thing. 14. Yeah, it looks like just like a normal wound. I mean, there may be a slight risk of infection. This trap is, kind of rusty and stuff, but, most animals are hardy, and this is quite a big wolf. So,
Do I have any potions here?
good question. I think most of your potions go in your bag of holding.
Yeah. I just chuck them all in the bag and hold them.
Oh, hang on, scroll down again.
They're like vitality and visibility.
Regular healing potion.
Oh, perfect. Is that how much healing does that do?
2d4 plus 2.
I don't like that. Does this look particularly nasty?
I reckon a healing potion would sort this out for a
Okay.
wolf, you know.
Perfect. I will do that then. I will pour it into my hands and let it drink.
Okay.
And after it's drunken, there's like, if there's a little bit left, I'll kind of like rub it into the wound.
Yeah. It's like as it like comes a bit closer and begins to like sort of like lap from your hands, it's kind of like this kind of voice. And oftentimes when you speak with animals, it's kind of like they're talking, like physically like moving their sort of like mouth and jaw and things like that to communicate with you. Certainly like birds and things make like a chirping noise. And if you were to sort of almost like disengage your brain with a spell active, you could separate the talking from like the chirping, or you could, and you could choose to tune into one or the other. And naturally, with the spell active, you just hear the words. Whereas this, the wolf doesn't seem to be moving its mouth. It almost seems completely. The spell has almost given you a level of telepathy with the wolf. It seems like, or maybe it's just the sort of the twitches of the ears and the eyes and things like that. The non-verbal communication is almost translating itself into words you can understand. And it says, "Thank you. You smell strange. You smell like fire and giants and the thing with the blood that burns." And just as it's saying this to you, and you take the last of the healing potion, you begin to try and like wipe on it, and it kind of like does a little like hop when you like touch its back leg. But the healing potion is sort of doing its work, and you can see it's the blood flow is slowing. You just hear a sudden, short, sharp, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you see approaching you through the trees what look like two hunters. One is taller and broader, both dressed in like heavy furs against the cold. One is slimmer and carries some sort of staff.
Like normal hunters, regular people hunters,
Just look like
or
hunters at
one
the
of
moment.
those dickhead hunters.
They just look like people at the moment. One's bigger than the other. It's got like a big, axe in one hand. The other one, doesn't. It has like a knife on their belt. It's like has like either like a staff or like a, like a walking stick or something. It's just like, "Hey, what are you doing? You messing with our stuff?"
No. You're messing with stuff.
The rest of you would hear this, certainly this like "hey" from this individual. It's like, "Those are our traps. We set them.
Okay.
You can't go releasing stuff from our traps."
Well, I mean, like, you weren't here, so,
Yeah, well, that's the point of a trap. You set it and you come back when it's got something.
well, the first finders keepers, losers weepers.
And you see the big one like goes to like bring up the axe like aggressively, and the other one just sort of like grabs the wrist. It's like, "Who are you? There's not many people around here these days. What are you doing in a place like this?"
Just helping the animals. That is all.
And kind of like studies you carefully.
Can I study them back?
Yeah, go for it. Make a perception.
Thanks. They study me, I study them. Study.
Yeah, I mean, looking at them, you can see that they are both well armed. Look like they're well armed for hunting. As I said, they both have like knives on their belts that look like sort of skinning or flaying knives. One of them the big one carries like an axe, and you can just about see actually over like they've both got like big sort of like heavy hoods like trimmed with fur that you can like pull up against the cold and stuff. and the skinny one you can actually see now, just sticking out sort of just behind like the big sort of like fluffy collar on this cloak, which looks to be a finer, like softer fur, whereas the other one looks a bit sort of rougher, a bit more sort of leathery in terms of his cloak and coat and stuff like that. You can just see like the tip of a bow and like a couple of near the end, the fletching off like a couple of arrows just poking out over the shoulder. They certainly look at a glance like individuals ready for hunting. You know, they've both got gloves on and stuff. The only thing that stands out to you is on the big one where maybe like the clothing isn't as sort of like done up as tightly. You can just see this bluish tattoo that seems to just curve slightly up sort of the side and go around the neck, which seems to have like a patch of scales on it.
Oh,
Make
so
out
they're big baddies.
with like a 26.
So they're baddies.
You can
Baddies.
infer from that what you like. This man
Okay.
seems to have some scales tattooed on it.
They're baddies.
Oh no.
Now I don't feel bad at all. I thought they were just going to be some random dudes, and I'd tell them to be more nice if they need to kill for food. But no, these are dickheads.
These are dickheads.
What was the name of the? Is this the great? What? No, this isn't the great one.
The
Thing,
Great
is it?
Protector.
The great. Is this the great protector?
No.
Well,
No.
no, the Great Protector was the big dragon that died.
So
He turned into a big Dracolich and died.
do we have any words? Any? Did we hear anything that the last group said that we could like? Oh, what did that note say? That one of the guys before had a note on him that had things.
The note previously was about like Lord Northstole coming to visit one of the towns that they were
That was
taking over.
Lord Northstone.
And he's a baddie.
He was the one with the polar bear.
Okay. Well, I guess I'd probably ask. Have you seen Northstole yet?
Kind of. So, yes, he returned this morning.
I am starting to unwind, by the
Okay.
way.
I haven't had the pleasure of seeing him yet. I'm hoping a bit later.
Make a. See, from a certain point of view, you could ask, or you could argue persuasion, but the way you mean seeing him is probably very different to the way they do.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking, roll a deception check. I imagine both skills are the same for you, to be honest. Unless it's intimidation. I don't think Arwen's proficient in charisma skills.
I'm great at intimidating.
Yeah.
I never get to intimidate.
Well, yeah.
Deception.
Yeah. 14. Okay.
Mm.
Not bad, not bad.
Insight. What's your insight? So they look at you, and again, the skinny one who's kind of got his hand just like down, like on the wrist of the larger one, just like, well, you'll need to be better prepared if you're going to be around here for much longer. Make sure you wrap up warm. You don't look best suited for this environment.
Don't worry, I'm warm-blooded.
Very well. But you should know we need these traps to survive. You shouldn't be going to free things from them, otherwise we will run out of food to eat if you're going to be staying here.
Yes, but maybe, if you're gonna hunt, hunt. Don't be a wuss about it. Don't leave traps to do it. Do it like like a proper hunter.
The big one kind of like pulls his hand out and kind of nudges him. It's like, see, that's what I've been saying. All this just walking and is boring. I want to fight something.
Exactly.
I want to see one of those big things that like burns is tasty on the inside.
Tasty on the inside.
I don't know.
Oh,
They wouldn't let me kill it.
well,
It was girding, whatever that means.
guarding. Guarding what?
Kind of just sort of like raises that, just gestures vaguely and just sort of like a half shrug, just a half like all this type thing.
Okay, well, yeah, no, that would make sense now, yes. Those sorts of things, I guess, would be very difficult to take down. But we love a challenge, don't we? Yeah. Anyway.
Well, he kind of just like claps the other on the back. Some of us do. Some of us just like slap, just like to do things the easy way. Their little spells.
Oh, not a spell, man. Ugh, disgusting.
It's like, need I remind you that my little spells are what keep you safe most of the time? And do things like put your organs back on the inside when you decide to wrestle a yeti just for fun. Happened one time, and that yeti was clearly cheating.
Yes. Well,
I was like, oh, what was your name again?
Andrea.
Andrea. Just like extends like a massive hand. And his hand is massive. It's like
The size of my face.
Yeah, like
And some more.
yeah. He just extends it towards you. It's like, Greg.
Oh, nice to meet you, Greg.
Fucking Greg.
It's
Yes. Well,
you keep looking for a fight, my guy.
yes. Well, I'll see if Kazir will let me get into any trouble. The other one just kind of looks at you. It's like, well, you've got a bit of a trek before you get there, but
Well, maybe I'll see you guys there later, yes?
it's like, yeah, well, I'm sure you will. But, we've got plenty of traps to check now that this evening's meal has been let loose.
Well,
When people are hungry, I'll be sure to let them know.
it's... I hold my hands up. Whoops.
It kind of like stares daggers at you and then begins to.
Well, I'll see you guys around. Okay, bye-bye. This is awkward.
Yeah, the two of them just kind of begin to like trudge their way through, like heading off kind of in the direction you guys have come from.
Okay, right. Is the wolf still here?
Oh no, the wolf is gone.
Okay, good. Okay, can I turn back into wind?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, it takes a minute. As you begin to start like turning back into wind, Stix just like appears finally out of wind. And he's like, oh. And you just begin to turn back into wind.
They'll arrive later when everyone's dead, and it'll be like, oh, I don't know what happened here. Oh. Pew, pew.
We got guns.
Pew, pew. Sounded like a ill frog.
I am an frog.
Yeah. There.
Just hope I don't croak.
Jesus Christ. Carry on.
God.
How to make the players take psychic damage. So you all begin to head off through the air again, forming up and flying off. It is not too much longer before you become much, much closer to the fort. And then you can see now that there is a much denser population of wildlife below. You it was almost like you've crossed some sort of invisible boundary. And within a few minutes, you spot numerous yetis and several more, although admittedly smaller looking, Remahes as well, just sort of trudging through. The yetis move in small packs of maybe 2 or 3. But you are unaffected by this as you just fly over the trees in windy form, rapidly approaching the fort. The fort, you can see this icy castle sits atop the wind-blasted cliffs. The hill that it rests on, at least on the landward side, slopes gradually down, or in the direction you're traveling, slopes gradually up, giving this building a much larger view of the surroundings. As you approach, you can see that the sea in the bay has frozen into an icy plateau, a small glacier for several miles off the shore. Presumably the presence of this ancient white dragon causing it to freeze. You can see this fort is laid out as if there were once several towers, but now it looks like only 1 or 2 remain. Whatever time and ice has brought these things down. But soon enough, you are flying in the air above the fort, looking down upon it. You can see that there is it seems to be made up of a number of buildings surrounding a courtyard with the towers around the edge. Off, further to the east, you can see several plumes of smoke rising through the air, as if there's some sort of campsite, just nestled in the trees a few hundred yards away from the fort itself.
Cool. I do that video game thing where I look at each individual dude and scan them so they're on my minimap now and I can see the balls.
So you can see that there what looks to be like a number of sort of tumbled down entrances to various stone buildings and things like that. Hard to get a sense of scale, but this is a very large looking structure from where you are high in the air.
The tower?
The whole array of buildings.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Question.
Yes.
If I was to estimate the number of individuals here, how many would I estimate? Obviously I'm not going to count every single one, but like rough numbers of like, if I was to start counting, would I get above 10, 20, 30?
At the fort?
Yeah, the 4s were sort of flying over it.
You don't see anyone.
Oh. So they're inside. Can we fly in? Can we wind inside and wind around inside?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wind down into the courtyard, and the courtyard itself seems to be have this maybe there was once a pool or something, you're not sure, but the central portion of this courtyard is an icy mass of sort of jagged lumps of stone, as if sort of, sorry, jagged lumps of ice, as if sort of chunks of ice have been sort of frozen and broken and frozen again. Surrounding it, that you can see that there are the doorways to several buildings. You can see now that the doors are of a gigantic scale designed to accommodate giants. So even though there aren't many buildings here, and you can imagine this might be on a giant scale, quite a small place to reside, for you guys it is the size of a large castle.
Big. Okay. Well, yeah, if it's giant, I'm assuming then we could get in and thing without being too visible. So maybe, yeah, if we sort of head down a little closer, start snooping about the place. I think.
I agree.
Okay.
Time to snoop.
I'm the snoop, snoop daddy, snoop daddy.
Okay. Are you remaining as wind as you attempt to move around, or are you going to turn back into yourself?
I think it's best to stay as wind for the first kind of initial run through, just to make sure there's no one around.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna stay wind for as much as possible, just because while wind, less visible. It doesn't say you're invisible, but less visible.
Yeah, I'm envisioning it being like little elemental forms. So there is like a
Yeah, yeah,
swirling denseness of air that indicates there is a creature there. But as you're sort of swooping through, something might miss you at first glance. Certainly in the sky above, when there's no sort of like reference or anything like that, no backdrop to see you against, you guys are almost invisible.
yeah.
Okay. You begin to head around. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 doors off this central courtyard. Well, there are. Yeah, there are. Oh, wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3. Yes, there are. Well, yes, there are 4 doors off this central courtyard.
4 doors.
4 doors.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, no, I'm just making sure I was getting the right number. I got confused for a second.
So is it like north, south, east, west, or
Yeah, let's
1,
go with
2,
that.
1, 2?
Let's go with north, south, east, west, just for the heck of it.
Cool. Should we start at the north and go clockwise?
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. So the north would be probably the room at the base of the tower itself.
Mm-hmm.
So you head in there. Where are my notes? So you enter in what looks like an open gallery-like space. There is a wooden counter as well as empty plinths and pedestals that stand around. One of the back walls you can see is broken and cracked open. You can see the sea on that side beyond. Ice and snow spill into the room, making it freezing cold in the snow. And you can see that the wood of various plinths and pedestals and things in places closest to the entrance has rotted from this constant weather. There is also a statue on the far wall of a figure of giant proportions, which is to say, it is probably a 15-foot tall statue. But the room itself is probably 20 feet tall. The counter is 6 or 7 feet high. But similar as you have seen in some establishments for they make accommodations for the shorter folk, the gnomes and things like that. They have like a platform on the serving side of like a bar or something. There is a similar thing on what looks to be like the customer side of this bar, where shorter or medium-sized creatures could potentially stand up on a level to reach the counter. The statue in the back, close to the broken wall, has a dusting of sort of ice and snow upon it.
What was the statue of, sorry?
Looked to be a large, giant individual.
Oh, okay.
Just armored, wearing a helm and holding a big axe.
Does he look... So, frost giants, obviously, other than their like very pale blue skin and maybe the colour of their hair or whatever, and then maybe their eyes, are there any other sort of physical distinctualities between, for example, them and, say, like a stone giant or a cloud giant? And if so, do we see any of that on this giant creature? Would we be able to tell what kind of giant this is by looking at a statue?
Make either a nature check or a history check.
I'll make a nature check. Oh! Get in.
Oh, bloody hell.
This is more crits than I've ever rolled in a session.
So, yes, it's hard to gauge because one of the key things is that bluish skin, but giants in and of themselves tend to have a slightly different proportional layout to humans. So if you put the silhouettes of both of them side by side and made them the same size, you would be able to distinguish between the two based on their proportions. So you are confident that this is a statue of a giant, and sort of where it reaches sort of about the mid-thigh, it seems to just dissolve into this sort of table-like structure, or like an altar or something. Potentially, you can see that there is a like a carved stone bowl that seems to form part of it, and just rest on top as if offerings maybe, or incense or oils would be laid in there at some point.
And in terms of the type of giant, would I know that or no?
Yeah, with a natural 20 and a 27, yeah, you are confident that this is a frost giant.
Okay.
One thing as well, there's also a set of stairs that lead up in this room, because this leads up into the tower you expect, based on the layout from below.
Is this the tower that the giant friend was talking about before?
You would suspect, though, that this is the fort that he was talking about.
Okay, cool. Should we go up the stairs?
Yeah. I will ask our giant buddy, however, if he knows who this is, who this statue could be.
To do so again, you will have to unwind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll unwind.
Okay. Yeah, you unwind, and at your prompting, then he does so as well. So a couple of minutes pass. Anyone else joining so that you can speak?
I think most people remain wind for now.
Yeah.
Yes, he unwinds and he actually like takes a knee before what you now take to be this altar, and he reaches inside like one of his things and draws out like a thing of what looks to be like a horn of like fleshed bone or something like that, and just places it like next to the bowl.
Not in the bowl.
No, not in the bowl.
Mm.
And just sort of like bows his head and mutters something in Giantish, and then he turns towards you and says, "This is Thrym, our god."
Thrym. Okay.
Those who lived at this outpost would have given alms to him from time to time upon making journeys at times when fortune had not favored them. They would give offerings, offer prayers, and hope Thrym would bless us.
Good old Thrym.
Good old bloody Thrym. Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Cool. Let's.
Oh, there was also a set of stairs down as well as up from this
Oh
room.
God.
Oh,
Oh
Lord.
dear Lord.
All right. Rewind. And head. I think first up.
Okay. You head up. The next room you enter is some sort of office-like space. There is a large wall which seems to be covered in books and things. Again, the windows here have been smashed either by something or just the ravages of the cold. Again, leading to an air of cold and damp. You can see on the floor near the center of the room there is a stack of these books been laid up in piles, and there is a soot blackened circle as well in the next to them in the center of the room.
Soot blackened circle.
There are a number of probably maybe 5 or 6 sort of wooden, like wooden desks, like giant proportion. Again,
Can I unwind and look through them?
yeah. Make an investigation check if you'd like. Are you looking specifically through the desks or the whole room?
Desks.
Yeah, I mean it's quite difficult. You have to like pull yourself up onto a chair and then like onto the desk itself because it stands at like 6 foot tall. Again, the chair itself is maybe like 4 foot off the ground or something for of giant size. You don't really find anything of them. A couple of them are like have these like sort of like nice like inlaid leather tops on them. And they're like angled very slightly with a little like ledge at the bottom so you could like rest books and things on them. But you don't find anything of sort of import. You find they're just sort of like damp and mildewy. You maybe find like an enormous quill or something that you could imagine would have been from some like giant bird. That would have been used, that a giant would have used for writing.
Fair enough. So nothing special.
No, nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary.
Skip.
On the desk itself, there's
Next. Is there any more stairs up?
there is a set of stairs leading up as well
Oh,
as
bloody hell.
this wall of books and this pile of books on the floor.
Ah, yes, the wall of books. I cast fireball.
Huh.
Do you?
No,
Okay.
because
Just-
Klari will kill me.
Just making sure. Just have to,
in a wall
I
of
take
books.
everything you said as rote. This campaign would have gone in a very different direction.
Mm-hmm. Not too much of a different direction.
Yeah,
You
your
probably
area.
would have got caught for more things.
Might be something interesting. I'm assuming, obviously, coals in the middle is sort of like, there's this area of like coals and wood. You said. I'm assuming that would be of a fire. Any indication of when this fire maybe went out? Was it recent? Was it a while ago?
Make a survival check for me.
Oh, gladly. It's my one expertise thing. Yeah. 23.
From what you can tell, not for a couple of weeks. It's kind of as if something was set up and burned here and for a while. Looking around, you find that there seems to be like a medium-sized creature's like bedroll has just been sort of tucked, kind of just left. It's got like a big rip in it, and like some of the stuffing and stuff's coming out. So maybe just something happened to it, and whoever was resting here just decided it wasn't worth keeping or repairing and just left it.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing's been seemingly burned here for a couple of weeks.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you.
How are you guys just moving around when you unwind and just make your checks and things like that?
I think when we unwind, just very. I mean,
Slowly.
Stix. Yeah, probably going quite cautiously.
Yeah, that's the word I meant.
Yeah.
Cautiously. Okay. Well,
Rather than throwing caution to the wind.
can Arwen Stix and a giant with advantage because it did it 2 floors down all make stealth checks as you're moving around then? And what's that?
Oh, for you, JJ. Gladly.
A 12 from the giant.
That's 11.
Passive perception of 13. Oh,
So we're all fucked.
dear.
We're all screwed, McGrew.
Okay.
Oh.
There's a set of stairs leading up. There's a set of stairs leading down. Which way would you like to go?
Are we going up one more?
Yeah, might as well finish going up and then we'll go down.
Okay. You begin to head up. And as you begin to head up, each of these stairs is sort of like a corner, goes like round a corner. And as you round the corner of these stairs, you can see what looks like a warm light coming from the top, sort of flickering as if it's some sort of firelight. You begin to make your way up the stairs. Who is leading the way?
I mean, I suppose I will, given, AC and whatnot.
Okay. So you ascend these stairs one by one, and each one is a little sort of jump to get up, these giant stairs. And you eventually make your way to the top, and you can see that there is a large wooden door at the top, which stands ajar, leading this flickering light to enter into the stairwell.
Flickering lights.
Yeah, like a firelight, just sort of flickering.
Oh, okay.
As fires do.
Can one of the wind people? Are we wind again, or are we people again?
I mean, you can wind and unwind as many times as you want.
It just takes a minute to do so.
Okay, if I had winded did downstairs, would that be okay?
Yes, you can walk up these stairs as a person.
No, but as a wind.
Oh, as a wind, yes, you can do that.
Can I then look round the crack in the door to see if there's anyone in there?
Yeah, make a perception check with disadvantage.
Why am I disadvantaged?
Because you're looking through a door that's ajar, so there's a very small space.
But I'm wind.
Yes,
What am I doing? Perception.
perception.
That's actually not that bad.
So, you don't see anyone through the slice of room that you can see. You can see that there is, seems to be a fireplace on one side where you can see the shadows being cast by this directional source of light. And you see what looks to be a large bed in the room, large four-poster bed. Why are you giving me that look? I've just said there's a bed. God, it's like Critical Role with that chair all over again. Anyway, but what you do hear is what sounds like someone shifting in a chair. Just sort of the creak of maybe like a leather-backed chair or something, and like the shuffle and like clink of an armored individual.
Can the wind
Hmm.
act like wind? We as wind, are we wind?
I can't remember exactly the wording, but I believe it says something like the only actions you can take are to
Dash.
dash or something like that. Is to dash or revert back. You're not telling me increases in searing rain, gaseous forms, your duration appearing as wisps of cloud, while in flying speed, resistance to damage from non-magical weapons. The only action a creature can take in the form is a dash action or to revert to its normal form. Yes, the only thing you can do is dash or
Okay,
revert
but
to
I'm a
normal form.
wisp of cloud. Yeah?
Hmm.
And I act like wind. Yes? Correct?
But you are still affected by barriers and things like that.
But I act like wind, yes?
Yes, you act like wind, but you are.
Perfect. So I can get through a gap this big
Yes, you can squeeze through a gap
because I am wind.
because you are wind.
Arwen couldn't fit through that gap, but wind
Wind.
can.
Our wind.
Wind,
Yeah,
yeah.
appearing a wisp of cloud, yeah.
So we can just go into the
Into the-
room without moving the door.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah. Blue.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm going to Misty Step.
That means you're a sad cloud. You're
I
gonna start producing rain.
Oh,
Oh, poor sad cloud.
I know.
It's okay.
Mhm.
You'll be human again soon.
You do have a visible form, though. You're not invisible.
No. I am a gaseous form, and gases are invisible.
Appearing as
Well,
a wisp of
there's a
cloud.
wisp
Cloud's
of
invisible.
Yep.
cloud.
Really?
Mhm.
You sure about that?
Yep.
You want to try again?
Nope.
Okay.
The sky is just patterned.
Yeah, it's got like polka dots.
The
and stuff.
sky is patterned, right?
Some days it has like white spots on it
Like a Dalmatian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Want to try that one again?
that move. It's
Okay.
like a big Rorschach image in the sky.
But why would you say a gaseous form but then say a wisp of wind, of cloud? They're two different things. A gaseous form is invisible and a wisp
Not
is...
necessarily.
Actually, yeah,
Not all
no,
gases are invisible.
because like you can see some gases. You can
Which
see.
gases?
Mustard gas.
Yeah.
No! You
Yes.
can't see mustard. Mustard is invisible.
Fuck's
No,
sake.
that's the
Hi.
gap.
Happy, please.
Yeah, they had smell to it.
Are you okay?
No.
You sound in pain.
See, you can see smoke. Smoke is a gas.
Yes, you can see smoke and things like that.
You can see farts in cartoons.
Yes.
But you can't see farts in real life, and D&D is real life.
You can also float on the smell trails of pies in cartoons. Yes, you do have a visible form,
Okay.
even if
Well, if is the chair turned around?
you can't see the chair. You can only hear it.
I might. Does everyone mind if I risk it for a chocolate biscuit?
So long as it's gluten free, I don't mind.
I risk it for a gluten-free chocolate biscuit.
Okay.
Not going to be worth it.
Wind into the room,
Not very nice.
and you see a figure.
Cool.
This figure is armed and armored, wearing a dragon helm and holding a very large greatsword in their hand, and a ball of what looks like blue fire in the other, and they are just waiting on the door. As your wind form enters, let's see actually, how intelligent are they? As your wind form enters, they just bring the sword point up towards you. Just very coolly say, "Who are you?"
I'm wind. I can't speak.
I know.
Do they know that?
It says the only action you can take is to dash, but speaking isn't an action. Casting a spell with verbal components is, but speaking is not an action.
You do not possess the functionality for speech.
Are gaseous? If I get damaged in this form, do I die?
Yes.
Do I take damage?
Yes.
Do I take damage, or do I just revert back?
Nope, this form has you are this form. If you take damage, the spell won't end on you, you'll just die as a wind.
You are resistant to damage from non-magical weapons, however.
Okay. Well, I guess I will. They don't know. They think it's just me at the moment. So
I think it's just,
Huh?
I think it's just wind.
It's just wind.
Like a big puff of wind.
Oh, they can see my big puffy bum, so.
Why is Arwen undressing in front of the scary people? As wind.
Just wanted to see what would happen as wind.
I mean, that's one way to try and roll for intimidation.
Mooning.
just enter a fight and start undressing
I
come on.
I thought that was the somatic component for Moonbeam.
Oh. Oh, if I willingly take down my armor class, will you allow Stix to moonbeam through his bum in a straight line?
Oh my god, please. Oh my god, yes.
A moonbeam, instead of it being a column, it's a cone.
Yeah, it's a cone that goes out.
Cone of moon.
I will reduce my armor class.
And Arwen's just shining a torch on his bare white arm.
It's no longer whatever it is, like acid damage or something. It's now psychic damage.
Yeah. Any attacks to hit me or my ass have advantage. Because as you all know, my moonbeam brings all the boys to the yard. And damn right, they're better than yours.
Any combat starts with one additional enemy.
They're like, I uh,
Oh god. Okay. What is this person look like? Sorry.
So this figure is heavily armored, wearing a dragon helmet and holding a large greatsword in one hand.
Is
and
it a
blue fire.
person or a?
Yes, it is a person.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
A normal human-sized person.
I
I think we gotta unwind.
yeah, I'm gonna unwind.
So
Okay.
Because I'm
I
the only one in the room at the moment.
think we should all unwind.
So I'm unwinding.
We're all unwinding.
What did I say my name was earlier?
I don't know.
It began with an A.
Alduin.
That's the name of the dragon from Skyrim.
Yes, it is. It's the first thing that came to my mind with the letter
I'm Annabeth.
Annabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you you begin to unwind, and as you do so, I imagine this takes the form of your like the swirling, vaporous elemental form begins to sort of slow down and condense, sort of like tighter and tighter as your real form begins to so that during this process there is an element of becoming more visible and being more recognizable slowly, and this helmed face just watches you impassively, and about maybe 30 to 40 seconds through, when your form would become relatively easily recognizable, the fire in their hand, they just sort of like turn it over and just extinguish it. And rather than having this sword out threateningly, they just sort of bring it back and hold it in a relaxed, like they just put it like point down on the floor and just rest their hands atop it.
Really?
Really?
Huh.
Just in a sort of waiting manner. And they just allow you to continue your transformation.
Right. I'm
No.
Annabeth. Who are you?
I believe I had the pleasure of meeting one of your companions before. The noisy fellow, I believe. Was he kicking around downstairs?
I don't know anyone who's noisy.
Noisy fellow.
Right. Well, maybe you can take a message back to them if they aren't here.
Ah, yes, I love messaging.
I was curious to meet you all again.
Do I recognise this person?
Yes,
Oh.
this is Lord Northstall.
Oh.
Oh, whoopsies.
Yes.
Hey.
I was waiting for the drop of you saying it's Lord Northstall.
Well,
Otherwise,
I was hoping the sort of like the armored figure with the dragon helm and
Didn't remember,
the blue fire
honestly.
and the
Well,
big sword.
I remember he had a big sword and obviously the heavy armor and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is seeming like this guy, but I feel like JJ would have said Lord Northstall sat there.
Honestly, he did not make that big of an impact. There was a polar bear.
That's fair. Yeah.
Right.
Second-rate bad guy compared to the polar bear.
So what's this message, Sauce?
Well, I was curious. I wanted to meet you all again since your previous, since our previous encounter. I made some assumptions about who you were and what you were trying to do, which I've come to reconsider.
Why?
Well, first I believed you were an alternative faction, trying to steal in on my success, my progress, and my triumph here. But I don't think so anymore.
And what do you think now?
I don't know. And that is what intrigues me.
Lucy.
About some 6 or 7 months ago, one of our sister factions, you may call it, was gutted. We had some
gutted.
dealings in a small town called Little Run.
Little Run.
A group of adventurers came through and wiped out our organization. I've done a bit of digging, and I'm wondering if those are you.
Sorry, where is that? Can you point to it on a map? Where is it?
Little. We never went to a place called Little Run.
No, I think there's a rival adventuring group, and I might have to throw hands.
I
Little
remember a place
Run is
called
a small town on the outskirts of Rosenzen.
Rosen? Did we disband the...
No, there were giants outside of Rosenzen when we were first travelling there. But we pretty much hightailed it straight into Rosenzen and then did a whole bunch of stuff there.
You also went out at one point and dismantled a sect of the Cult of the Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, that was when they had that little dungeon, and okay. That was the one where it was in the forest, and we did a stealth mission to go inside, and you two dressed up as dragon cult members, and I was invisible.
And Stix turned into a ladybird.
Yes, and that was when we were inside, and I was a bug. And I kept getting, I was a fly, and I kept getting distracted by things.
They had two dragons that they were using to guard the entrance, a blue one and a black one.
Oh.
And a mean wizard who was controlling them.
Yes.
I vaguely remember.
We did it.
We did
yeah,
it.
we did it.
I remember some of those bits. I remember we did it. But
When you've done as much cool shit as we have.
I'm sorry, your sister faction was rather forgettable. So sorry.
Well,
Also,
that does somewhat reinforce my theory then.
Although I don't actually, because Stix isn't here to tell me this. I genuinely don't remember.
No, but Arwen might, having lived the experience, you know.
Yeah, but also,
but we have fought a lot of dragon dudes.
We have fought a lot. Okay. Let's face it. We've done a lot.
We have done a lot.
We've been a lot of places.
And there's lots that I remember that you've forgotten.
We have done a lot.
We have done a lot. So I could. Yeah. I mean,
I was going to say, obviously, with Stix hearing someone inside, with and hearing the sound of someone putting a sword or whatever, would have unwinded. I don't know if he'd have gone inside yet. Maybe upon hearing that it was Lord Northstall, he would be very much intent on going inside.
Well, so let me know if you decide to enter the room.
I will be hanging back with a readied action to charge
put his
it.
ear against the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
In this moment, I trust Arwen, and I'm going to, if I can, because you said the door was open slightly. I'm gonna. Oh no, you have to touch them for guidance. Never mind.
Just a little finger comes round.
Just a little root just slides along.
So, well, your lack of memory seems to be more evidence to my theory. You don't seem like a group of religious do-gooders.
Oh, I am neither religious nor do-gooder.
Precisely.
I am an atheist do-badder.
Companion was too curious and too ignorant of what we are attempting here for... another rival faction to be trying to muscle in. He was a poor liar, but
Damn.
Yeah,
I
damn.
saw my hastiness aside upon reflection. I
Sorry
could see
for
things more clearly.
Now
Which brings me to the ultimate question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Your polar bear.
My polar bear.
Mm-hmm.
That is your sole mission. You came here specifically for my polar bear.
No, but you asked what I wanted, and I want your polar bear.
I was speaking in grander terms. What is your group's aim in coming here? Is interfering in our business. It cannot be accidental. You would have. Well, you're either stupid or foolish to come this far on a whim. So you must have
Thank
some sort
you.
of intent or purpose, I presume. I'm hoping we can align our goals and achieve the same thing. I do something for you, you do something for me, and we all go about our business. So I repeat, what do you want?
Your polar bear.
It's okay. Yeah, he just sort of raises a hand to his head. You claim your companions are not here. I have heard more than one of you moving around.
I just have big feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
This man's sick of my shit.
perhaps you would like to join me for a while, and we'll see if any of your companions come looking for
Oh,
you.
where are we
Perhaps
going?
they will be more receptive. He just kind of steps and just gestures to the chair. Have a seat.
Oh, no, thank you. I like my legs.
And mayhaps you will kindly fetch one of your companions for me to converse with.
Maybe I can what?
Fetch one of your companions that I may converse with them.
I'm sorry, they're not here at the moment. Can I take a message?
Very well, if you insist in this charade, take the message to your companions that I would wish to negotiate with them.
Oh.
I want to know why you are here, and I am willing to offer you, well,
Your polar bear.
whatever I can do, not my polar bear, in exchange for facilitating this.
What's your offer? What are you offering? If not the polar bear.
Name what you would like, and I will see if I
Well,
can.
name what you want.
I would like you all to leave me and my faction alone to achieve our business
Your
without
faction.
interruption. Yes, I am in charge of this faction.
I don't think you're in charge. I think the big dragon that created all the ice is in charge.
Well, you are entitled to believe what you like. However,
I
they
mean,
listen
let's
to
be
me.
real. If anyone's going to be killing, it's going to be the dragon. And he can stand on you. He's a dragon.
Yes, he is
You're
a
not
dragon.
in control. You have an illusion of grandeur, and it's not real. You're delusional. I'm sorry, sir. It had to be said.
Listening to this guy talk to Arwen is fucking hilarious. He's trying to have like a serious, like, I really want to talk and have you guys out of here. And Arwen's like, yeah, but the polar bear though.
He walks over to like one of the sections of wall, and you can see that there are pages from journals and things like that have been affixed to the wall, diagrams and various things. And yes, you want this. You see this?
Sure do.
This is the precise invocation for the function of decaying flesh.
Lovely. I can't read. You could say that's anything.
It's going to be far less impressive because you don't understand.
I know.
He turns around and walks over to the desk. The desk you can see is a little bit out of proportion. It's it's wide and deep, but has very squat legs. But is now human-sized
Does he have a picture book?
rather than giant-sized. You can see on the desk there are various sort of journals and books and things like that sort of scattered around. There is something covered by a cloth to one side, and he reaches and opens takes down sort of a medium-sized chest, puts it there, opens at the top, and lifts out this sort of large glass vial.
Ooh. Is there something in it?
Indeed, inside there seems to be just this section of greyish muscle
Ooh.
with scales on one side that is just sort of occasionally just twitching and sort of rippling as if it's moving and flexing. This would be more impressive if you could read, but this is a culmination of my achievements so far. The animation of dead flesh.
Ew.
These journals and things of my predecessors will grant me many secrets into the ways of necromancy, more than I already currently know, which is a considerable amount. And so they shall allow me to influence the dragon. Yes, what is it?
Why didn't you just use animate dead?
Because the dragon is not dead. Nor
Then
do
why
I-
are you trying to animate dead if the dragon's not dead? I think you I'm gonna. This isn't impressive. I'm sorry. Unless there's a polar bear, I'm gonna go. What was the message you wanted me to take? I'm so sorry. I've forgotten already.
Tell your companions that I wish to negotiate.
You want to negotiate, and you have nothing to negotiate with. Okay, cool, excellent. Thank you. I will be
I
on.
am willing to offer you whatever I can provide.
And that's a little lump of flesh that goes. Cool,
This is a
excellent.
demonstration of my power. Name your price. Do you want gold?
Not
Do
really.
you want magical items?
Ooh.
You seem to forget I have access to the beast's hoard. It leaves from time to time. I know where its lair is and how to get there.
Are you not friends with him?
He is a pawn.
He's a pawn. The poor man. He's bigger than a pawn. He'd crush the chess table. Right, I'm leaving. Okay, nice to see you. I will be back with my friends. Goodbye. I leave I squeeze through the door, as to not open it to show there are people.
Okay. He walks with you to the door
Oh,
and just kind of just
it's okay. I know
stands
where
there
it is.
and just kind of
I
just,
came through it.
he just kind of places a hand sort of on the door and just sort of just with gauntleted fingers that are just, you can see it just tipped with claws, just Durham, Durham, Durham on the door.
Oh,
Just you can imagine if he didn't have his helm on, there would just be a face just giving you just a
oh yeah.
kind of look.
I mean, he's not that tall, let's be honest.
He's a good 6'2", something like that.
No, he is short. He has a massive polar bear. That man has got to be short. He's overcompensating for his lack of height. You have to have a. It's okay. I
No.
know this short man.
No, he is a tall man. You can't see that his boots do have 4-inch lifts in them, but he is a tall.
Okay, I squeeze through the door now. Bye.
Okay. You head onto the stairs. And behind you, the door is just gently pushed to.
And
you do hear what sounds like the very faint sound of a helm just thudding into wood.
Yes.
JJ, could I be doing something whilst this is going on?
Certainly.
I mean, you could probably do anything and he wouldn't notice.
So,
I mean, depending on what you do, we might row back into the middle of the conversation somewhere.
Oh, excellent. Let's go again.
I would.
That's a deterrent.
I would obviously indicate to Klari to come over and listen, and I would walk very stealthily back down. And I would like to. This might be a bit of a waste, but I want to just make sure. Because he's talking about negotiating. I want to make sure this isn't some kind of trap. So I'm going to cast Commune with Nature, which has a casting time of a minute. And that whole conversation took a heck of a lot longer than a minute.
Indeed.
And I can ask several questions, but I only really want to ask. Well, actually, I could ask two, because I guess they could be the same question. But obviously, it gives me the knowledge of the surrounding territory, yada, yada, yada. And I get to ask questions, and one of them would be the peoples. So it says, you can gain knowledge of 3 facts of your choice of the following subjects related to the area: terrain, bodies of water, prevalent plants, minerals, animals, peoples, powerful celestials, fae. So am I able to essentially figure out how many people are around me in a 3-mile radius?
3-mile radius.
And obviously, I'm assuming with this spell, I would sort of understand whereabouts. It doesn't say that, but it says, within a 3-mile radius.
You became from one with nature and gain the knowledge of outdoors. The spell gives you knowledge of the land from 3 miles in caves and other natural surroundings. The radius is limited to 300 feet. The spell doesn't function where nature has been replaced by construction such as dungeons and towns.
I didn't read that bit.
Yeah, the last paragraph of any spell doesn't count.
But the last paragraph of this would be, for example, you could determine the location of powerful undead in the area, the location of major sources of safe drinking water, or any location of nearby
Right.
towns.
I read the wrong section. I just read that there was a word towns.
Yeah,
Never mind then. Never mind.
I mean, if you want, you can go outside and try and cast it.
No, because realistically, Stix doesn't know how long that conversation's going to last, and if things kick off, I got to run inside and run all the way upstairs, and it's Arwen,
Okay.
so if it's surprised that things haven't kicked off.
Okay. Well, after a conversation, Arwen emerges at the top of the stairs, and the door is just gently shut behind her.
That was scary. He has weird wiggly flesh. That sounded wrong. It was in a jar. It wasn't on him.
Oh, God. Ow. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm assuming you fill us in.
Yeah.
Do you do that at the top of the stairs? Or do you move somewhere else?
I stand 2 steps down.
2 steps.
I mean, is he not fully aware they're outside?
Feel
I
like
mean, he absolutely knows they're outside. I squeezed through the door like an idiot. He knows. So there's no point in pretending. So I'm just going to tell him right here.
Okay.
I'll whisper, but he will probably hear me.
No, I'm just wondering.
I'll do it at the top of the stairs. I don't care.
Okay.
Are we going to go in there and talk to him, or I feel more happy. I don't mind talk. I mean, we're not going to get anything from him because we want to, him.
Yeah.
But I just want to know what the hell's his dealio.
Same. I'm going to cast guidance on myself. And then I think we we stride back in
Yes, all of us.
as a team this
Arm
time.
in arm. Like
Yeah.
the Wizard of Oz going down the yellow brick road.
Okay.
We're skipping in, arm
Yeah.
in arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
The adventurers went in 3 by 3. Hurrah! Hurrah!
adventurers
Okay.
went to 3. Hurrah! Hurrah!
So, Arwen, Klari, Stix, Hugo, 2 imps who have been nicknamed Panic and Pain, and a giant enter the study of
And
Lord
Mary.
Northskull. And
This-
Amiri enter the study of Lord Northskull.
That sounds like the beginning of a
Yes.
joke.
I was going to say, this is the longest-winded start of a joke I've heard.
153 episodes into the longest joke of my life.
There. It's okay. You'll recover one day.
One day. So you all enter. Who is entering first?
Me.
Oh.
Okay. Arwen boldly strides into the room.
No, we all go arm in arm.
Okay. You boldly stride into the room. Before you, you see Lord Northskull stood in front of his chair. Arwen, you don't think he's moved.
No, he was at the door.
Yeah, you think he just probably just went back and just stood.
Continuity.
Oh
Oh my god, he's like an NPC that always has to go back to that same place every time you enter the building.
Just enters his idle animation.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it there like this?
No, he's just there. The sword is just like the point of the sword is just on the ground. He's got his hands resting
Oh yes, this is his idle animation. Look at him.
on the hilt.
Is he going like this? Like
No, but if you'd have waited there too long, he would have just repeated the last phrase he said, like, now go, get your friends. Go, get your friends.
Like in Jumanji.
Go, get your friends. I'd love to run a D&D campaign where it's entirely run on video game logic.
Yes. Yes. Oh my god, it'd be so fun.
That'd be really, really funny.
Absolute
So if you try
chaos.
talk, the only problem is for every NPC, you would have to write down what they say, and they can only say that specific thing unless they're a really important NPC. That would be really funny. Anyway, so we go in, and
Look, I found my friends. What?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Look, what
Show
is
me
it?
Jiggly flesh.
It's just like he hasn't put it away. It's just on the desk.
Lovely. What is it you're trying to do with this dragon?
Well, the ultimate goal is create a being of supreme power, powerful enough to free our queen.
Who's your queen?
My lady
Well, the
Tiamat.
dragon people's Tiamat.
You don't want Tiamat.
Yeah,
So
from what I read,
basic. Someone already did that. In another land. Far from here. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, she's dead, isn't she? I had a weird dream. Like 9 guys came into her lair and just fucked her up. Anyway, okay.
So you want?
Well, you've been quite honest with us. So I'll be quite honest with you. Originally, we came here because friend Klari needs an item for a, should we say, a personal quest. But ever since,
believe it to be located within the horde, I presume.
yeah, you could say that. But since arriving here, we've found that, well, what generally happens with us adventurous types is we go places and we end up finding more problems than we originally came there to solve. we end up having to solve all of those problems.
You can say you might be the cause of those problems if you
I'm
go somewhere
always
and
the
keep
cause
finding
of
problems.
I'm a constant problem. Did you know?
No.
Yes, I think I'm fast becoming familiar with you and your concept of a problem.
I, in fact, think it's people like you who keep causing all these problems. People who just keep trying to push it. Just keep trying to push buttons that really shouldn't be pushed.
Snap, girly.
FYI, Tiamat is like, she's in prison in Avernus in this world. We discovered that, right? She's like in prison or whatever.
You make a religion check.
We don't know that. We just know.
I believe we got that from the blue paper.
The blue
bit.
paper. I don't remember that.
The elegy
Where's my drawing?
of the first world or word or something. World. That was it. 14.
Yes, you did learn that.
Right.
Yeah. Thought I'd lost loads of stuff.
So
I just love your drawings.
Thank you. They're beautiful.
So yes, I believe it's individuals like you who keep causing all these problems and keep pushing buttons that shouldn't really be pushed. We came here looking for a magic item we found. I mean, let's face it, yet another man who thinks he can be some great necromancer and free some god. Dealt with your type before, frankly. And we will continue to deal with your type again, so consider this a little bit of mercy. Stop what you're doing. Run along home, or we will have to stop whatever all this is. Does this dragon even know this is what is happening to them? Does dragon even know they're going to die?
Is death even a concern when you can live beyond it, like I do?
Ew, you're dead. Yuck.
And he reaches up and unclasps something at the back of the helm and just lifts this draconic helm by one off with one hand. And as it comes down, you can see that there is just a plain white skull.
Can I punch him?
Make an attack roll.
It's a reflex. I do apologise.
He is. I'm kind of assuming he is like in a position separate from you, not within.
Okay. Because if he was literally like in front of me, I'd just like.
No, I was assuming the conversation was taking place at a distance.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna walk up to him to punch him. Then.
Okay. He just lowers it, and as he lowers it, you can just see that there are two almost like pilot lights of blue flame in his eyes.
Ew.
For my own reference, can Stix just use divine sense?
Oh yeah.
But I believe with divine sense, I can learn the sort of undead he is, not like a specific like he's Strahd von Zarovich, the vampire, but I would learn that he's a vampire, undead, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of undead would he technically class as?
He is a death knight.
Death Knight. Okay.
And what does that do?
Assumed as much, but I just wanted confirmation.
It's just a very powerful type of undead.
Ugh.
Basically.
So he's got like fire in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If who's got a wind spell? If you just like go, will he die?
And I've got Gust.
Yeah.
He's not Charmander.
I've got lots of wind spells. Okay.
This is where we disagree on, well, ideology, it would seem. You follow half-elves. Why didn't I take it? Elves don't usually have religion. One of the reasons for finding our place up here.
I would say Stix is very, very visibly got Zuriel's symbol on his arm, on his chest, on a necklace, like all sorts of things.
Like doing a
He's
Sherlock
like-
thing, and it's like,
I was gonna say he's like doing a Sherlock, like, hair on the shoulder. Doesn't take care
Right.
of it.
Well, knowing that then,
oh no, it was fun.
with the 19, it's like, well, unusual for a half-elf to follow religion, but it takes all sorts to find their own path. Follower of Zuriel, I believe. Well, you have your beliefs. I have mine. What would you do if your god, Zuriel, was trapped and imprisoned?
I wouldn't follow
Do you
them.
not
the
do
first.
everything in your power to free them?
I know.
Yes.
He would say, she told me to do it myself, so I'm gonna tell her to do it herself. Didn't she like tell you to like go away?
I mean, kind of.
Yeah. So there
when
you
you,
go.
when you, that is somewhat paraphrasing what she said, but yeah, she basically told me to go away. No, I think I just say, well, I wouldn't really follow someone who's been imprisoned anyway. Does the fact that your god has literally been put in prison by all the others not give you a sort of bad vibe? Not maybe think that there's a reason they've been imprisoned, shouldn't be trusted or followed or whatever?
Question.
Yes.
Who imprisoned her?
Like, is that like an above the table
Yeah.
question?
Like a just DM question.
So let me just double check some stuff.
And is she's
Let me just find the easier version of this to read so I can just double check some stuff.
like, I found out that she
This has gone a lot more theological than I was really expecting.
was.
It's alright, just you carry on, I'm just gonna read for a bit.
Her and Bahamut are brother and sister.
And
Is she
Sar-
related to Sardiel?
Yes. Yes, we
Brother
learned.
and sister of Sardiel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay. I hadn't written it quite right. Brother and sister of him. There we go. He still doesn't care about knitting. That'll be fun. Oh, I have a question for her.
So one thing I will say is an addendum. The skull is not human. You can see that the skull is clearly of draconic nature.
Ew.
So,
Oh, he's like a dragonborn death knight. Oh, that.
well, what
cool.
do you know of the gods? History is famously written by the victor.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You claim to know her to be an evil deity. I claim to know her to be a force of creative good. One who breathed dragons of a certain type. He gestures to Hugo and then to himself into the world. Dragons of the chromatic nature. We are not bound to serve. Some feel an obligation, others travel where they will. Again, gesturing to Hugo.
Keep my child out of this.
No one is obliged to serve you. Like any good religion, you are not forced into servitude to Tiamat. It is those who seek the truth and take up the mantle find themselves in a position where they want to. Those of us in this position want to find the truth. And the truth lies in the heart of the prison.
So, who put her in prison?
A good question.
Have you ever met her?
I have communed, but never met. I do not know if my communes are directly with her spirit and her mind, or an essence.
Have you met her brother?
I have not met any of their draconic majesties.
Hello there. ×2. You're obviously not special.
I'm just getting real sick of you Cult of the Dragon people constantly claiming that what you're doing is right, when really I've never seen anyone doing anything good. If she is, if you're trying to claim that she is good, why aren't you guys trying to do any good things in her name? Prove that she's not good. No, all of you are just, I don't know, trying to raise the dead or trying to raise a group of
Sewing
dragons.
scales onto each other.
Sewing scales onto each other, exactly.
Very strange.
Why is
No
that
one's-
not a good thing to do? We embrace the draconic. Some choose to embrace the draconic kind as an act of worship.
But how are you getting the dragon scales? You're hurting the living dragon.
You are aware dragons shed their scales naturally as they grow.
Shut up, I know everything about dragons.
I would not condone one to take the scales off a live dragon.
I'm pretty sure they have done that in one of them.
I think that was the person who wanted them to be all like undead and stuff, which this guy also does. But I think that was like the.
It might have been that underground one in the sea.
Yeah. And also that was Uxin growing a bunch of scales onto like Piper and everyone. I just think, wouldn't you all be a little bit better going around and, I obviously, as you said, I follow Zuriel to spread, the harvest and food and joy and things like that to people. Renewal. I would assume spreading the good draconic words, seeing how good dragons can be and the good that they can do, wouldn't be making one undead and trying to use its power to unleash a god that everyone seems to want to keep in prison. To me, that seems rather foolish, don't you think?
You know the name
Rather
of this
counterintuitive,
dragon?
claiming they're good.
Big white dragon.
Trying it.
Medium-sized white dragon.
Stop talking. One of you try. Do you know the name of this dragon?
We never did find out the name, did we?
You did find out the name.
We did. That lady dragon that
Yep.
isn't.
It made Abby laugh.
Oh,
Frigid
the
man.
the frigid.
Frigid tormentor.
Exactly. Tormentor.
Valuktar, the frigid tormentor, bad white
Exactly.
dragon in the north, probably.
Tormentor.
As Klari.
Does this seem like a creature that spreads good through the land, brings joy to people like you do?
I'm confused.
Well,
No,
why
it
you're
is a creature
friends with it.
reviled by its peers. It is a tormentor.
Okay, so
It is
can we
cruel.
go and kill the dragon then, please?
No, it is cruel. However, I will bring it to heel. By studying the works of my forebears, I will control it.
No. It has to have free will, I'm sorry. It has to have free will to do either good or bad, and if it does bad, I am sorry, goodbye byes.
So you would leave something to do evil rather than prevent it from following its evil nature.
I love evil.
I can tell you travel with 2 imps. Creatures of the hells. O mighty paladin, what say you about that?
Oh, we just found those, and
They're mine.
I defeated I banished their master, so they serve me. I'm telling them to do good things. Thus, currently, right now, obviously I know they are natured to do bad things, but right now, look at them. They're doing all right. They haven't hurt us, and I think that's twisting the nature of things.
So you have bound a
Twisting.
creature to your will in order to make it serve you, you say?
No, that was me.
Yeah, that was kind of her. But we
Right, I
just
see. You do not see a certain irony
Nope.
in this.
I
You
don't iron my clothes.
no,
admonish
because they're
me for the
devils.
very thing that you claim to have just done. You have taken a
No, because
creature,
they're
you are
devils.
subserving its true nature to serve your own gains. How are we any different?
Because this is a devil from hell.
Hmm.
That is okay. We can go on and on and on and on and on about theology or whatever all we want, but the bottom line is you are trying to kill a dragon, and not just kill a dragon. The good thing, well, not necessarily good. I won't say it's necessarily good. Obviously, killing a creature of this plane is rare in most circumstances. Is not a
Define killing.
good thing to do.
Define killing
However,
for me.
makes
No.
What do you know of that?
Let's just dictionary define the words.
Tell me, what
make
do you know? Define the word for me. I mean, I can
killing.
sense death on you like a putrid stench. You know, you have seen your fair share of blood and gore and fighting. But what do you know of killing?
What do
What
I
does
know?
it mean to you?
Killing to me means
To cease life.
to cease life that
Go
very
on.
tough. To cease life that has had its chance at life and failed to do anything. I say quote unquote good with it because I can't think of another word for good, but failed to do anything good with it. But with
Hold
the
on, what
with
happened?
the thing of it is something that okay. Let's put it this way: if something attacks me, is malicious, with the intent to kill me, I'm obviously going to try and protect myself in that scenario. If something is attacking someone else and I feel I can help them,
You
I'm
have
obviously
killed them, but it's in self-defense.
protect them.
So the
I'm
cease of life.
yeah. To
when
me, it
they
is
were
the cease of life
sentient.
in service of a higher cause, in service of a higher purpose. That
I don't know
for
what you're on about, I'll be honest.
So you
beliefs
think that all
of
killing it has to involve a higher
No.
purpose?
No, no, no.
What
I
about the deer in the field hunted by the wolf?
Yes, they are killed.
that is the
Yeah.
purpose of that is serving the purpose of the sort of circle of life, I suppose.
Stix, I think you're going off on one.
So you would define killing as the end to that life?
I mean, I suppose so.
No, that's death. The end to the life is death. Killing is to
Make something
make
dead?
something dead that was sentient.
Okay.
Because abortion is not killing. Carry on.
Moving rapidly away from that subject. So yes, I agree. Fine, just light-hearted D&D.
Funny.
So if something were to die
Yeah,
and come back to life,
yeah,
would you have killed it?
yes. I was killed.
Yes, I've
But
died.
yet
Something
you live.
Yeah, but I was still killed.
Okay.
That's
something can
not
build
relevant. That I'm
prison
still alive now.
we live in with the magic we have. Things can die and undie.
But
Be
I'm
brought
not
back to life.
undead. I am alive. I had CPR, but magical.
There
I was
is
killed.
there is a difference between being
Cardio Piper resuscitation.
Exactly.
yes. There is a difference between being resurrected and being alive again. See that word alive, and being resurrected and being whatever you are. undead. Sort of going in the opposite direction.
Why?
What? Why? What?
What's the? Why do you think you are different? Why do
I'm
you
not
think?
different.
So you think we are the same? Your companion says that we are different.
How did you come back?
Devotion.
Nah, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're being vague, my guy. You need to explain, or I'm not going to answer your questions.
The strength of my devotion, my spirit. I think
Ah,
good.
your bitterness.
You could call it that.
Love that for you. You were too spiteful to die.
I was, yes. When
That's not how you get.
people similar to yourself deemed my research was unethical, against the laws of nature, as you seem to claim, they decided that my life was forfeit.
Right, you were killed. Cool.
I was killed. And
And
I
then?
feel it was unjust.
And then?
And then, well, they were not careful enough, and I had taken certain steps. My knowledge had grown at that time to ensure that my life did not end when they carried out their sentence.
So your life actually didn't end. Did you die?
Well, that is where we differ on the term of
Oh,
death.
bloody hell.
I see death as a finality.
Did you die?
Not by my definition, no.
Did you die by my definition?
Yes, if I understand your definition correctly.
It's like pulling teeth, this.
From my point of view, I stand here, living before you.
Okay, but how? How?
Through a great proficiency in spells and magical
Who?
practitioner. My own.
You. But. Oh, it's like blood from a stone!
Would you like me to walk you through the
Yes.
exact procedure one
Yes.
takes to become
Draw
a
it.
Death Knight?
I've got a whiteboard here. Please.
It is these very same principles that I am attempting to expound upon. I did point out to you
I can't
earlier.
read.
Then what use is it to explaining it to a half-wit who cannot even read?
I'm actually a half elf. Thank you.
I grow weary of this conversation. I am looking to offer you almost any price in order. Yes, you especially. In order for your little party to leave. Giant, you there. You are not from these shores. I'm sure you would like to return home. I can tell you are not a warrior. I don't believe you have ever killed before.
That's really rude.
Other than maybe hunting.
Yes.
We have commandeered many ships. I know you are not from these shores. You would be welcome to take any of them that you wished, and any crew you wished, and leave.
DM question.
Yes.
Do we know how to kill undead?
Yeah.
How do we kill undead?
Well, most of the time, usually you just kill them in the normal
Just like
ways.
a normal way.
Yeah.
Do they have resistances?
Some of them.
Does this one?
Good question. Make a religion check.
Oh God, I'm bad at religion.
I know. It's because it's intelligence based and
Mind
something,
what you
something.
say.
Well, actually, we did learn from the Death Tyrant guy or someone.
Yes.
We did learn about phylacteries from them. We
That
did
is
learn
true.
About what?
Phylacteries. A machine created to hold the essence of something so that when it dies, it is returned and a new body is forged out of magic for them.
Oh, is that what's happened here?
Possibly.
Right. Okay,
We
I know
have
that.
what happens with like liches and some other.
Yeah, with an 11, you've got no idea.
Okay.
I mean, with 11, the best you can go is go, yeah, necrotic's probably not great against the undead.
Okay. Can I give Stix and Klari the look that basically says, "Can I stab him?"
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I wanna. I think. I think
Philosophical meanderings aside,
I'll give
you're
her. I'll
yet
give
to
her.
tell me what you are after, so that I can potentially facilitate a bargain. Yes, I know you want the polar bear, for God's sake. At this point, you can bloody have the polar bear. If we can reach an agreement, he remains mine until a bargain is struck.
I don't make deals. That's more Piper's thing.
It is.
What
Uh,
do
I
you want?
want.
Hello.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I want creatures like you to fucking die, and I pull out my spear and just hurl it at.
This is so unfair.
I'm sorry. I was trying to think of something. I was trying to think of anything else we could find out from
Okay.
this guy. Found out anything we can
Okay.
from this guy.
You go to pull your sword or your spear, and as you level your spear, he just takes his hands where one of them is clutching the sword, and he just where they're both like resting on the sword, he just crosses them over. One of them grabs his wrist, and he's gone.
Oh, what a dickhead.
He was holding it. He was
we
holding
need-
an action the whole time, similar to.
That's fair. Okay. Okay. So we now know we're facing a Death Knight and a lot of culty dudes. We know this dragon is not aware that it's about to die. And I think
Either of us.
And I think we can use that. How would you feel
Manipulation.
getting the dragon on side? I know it's called the Frigid Tormentor, but hear me out. We roll up to the dragon and we attempt to lie our asses off.
Hell yeah.
We tell him everything that he's told us, that the dragon is going to die. They're going to kill the dragon and sacrifice it. The dragon joins up with us, hopefully, in this scenario, and the dragon hopefully joins in our fight. Dragon hopefully gets a little bit, roughed up in the fight. And then right after the fight, well, hopefully the dragon lives so we can fuck it up. But if it dies, hey, it's dead. Whatever. Because I'm assuming to do what he's talking about, there's going to have to be some kind of ritual. I don't know any, from what Stix knows of undead. So this is like a basic thing of undead. He thinks that's something. We've seen people bring skeletons up. We've seen people animate dead. We've never seen someone animate a whole fucking dragon though, and have finite control over it. So Stix assumes that requires oomph.
We've seen someone have control over a dragon.
Yes.
That was the one with the two guarding dragons, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They had control over those two dragons.
Yes.
Do we remember?
But
how?
they were alive.
They made runic bonds.
Yes.
So they created facsimiles out of crystal, the same or precious gemstones, the similar colors to the dragon, so black and blue.
Yes.
And by using runecraft on those, they were able to form a controlling bond.
Do I recall seeing any sort of white crystal on Polar Bear Man?
Not upon him, but you are now in his study. And we shall find out what you find within the study of Lord Northstall next time.
I think I have an idea. I have an idea of what we do next. So he said that he can access the dragon's lair, right? That I'm